Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Hey, happy hump day!
Yes, indeed.
The panel is here.
We're here.
Dustin Fox in the building. Busy show. The thing I think I'm most looking forward to in today's show is to talk about Browns tickets when they move to the new stadium.
We did.
It's all speculation right now.
It's going to piss a lot of people off, just a heads up.
Speaking of which, Jay,
why? Because we're.
No, because they haven't seen these, and they're going to see
Oh,
them.
I thought you
and
said
then
we
be
were.
No,
Well, the prices will.
The
Yeah.
prices
Oh,
are
yeah.
cheap.
speaking of which,
Yeah.
you know, this is how Browns fans are feeling. Anthony, I could use your assistance on this. I got a letter and a gift in the mail. Here we go. The Cleveland Clowns.
Oh my God.
There we go. I got a letter from. I got to find it now.
Kind of matches your shirt, Bull.
Yeah.
A little bit.
This was sent to me by diehard Browns fan Dr. Mark Simonelli, who wrote me a handwritten note, which is a little hard to read because, you know, who reads handwritten notes
Is he
anymore?
in the third grade?
I don't know what's
did you
happening.
say he's a doctor?
He's a doctor.
That
you know,
explains
doctors
it.
don't, they don't know how to write.
It looks like it's written in Arabic.
But he also sent me, this is really funny, a certificate of authenticity. Thank you. I will read this real quick. You've been unfortunately identified as a downtrodden Browns fan, and as such, have been granted an appropriate head dressing to represent decades of frustration, heartbreak, and incompetence. The Browns, that is not you, the court jester had, is also known as the Fool's Cap. It is believed that the cap featured 3 points represent the ears and tail of an ass.
Oh my God.
The Surgeon General has determined that being a Cleveland Clowns fan is hazardous to your health and may result in conniptions, intermittent rage, bowel distress, relationship discord, spontaneous bloodletting, Tourette-like profanity rants, startled dog bleeping the rug, human de-evolution, forehead vein rupture, existential crisis. I could go on and on. Shout out to Dr. Mark Simonelli, who made this hat. By the way, if anybody's interested, he is selling these. If anybody wants to buy them.
Of course he is.
Shout out to Dr. Mark Simonelli.
There's a market for that, Bull. You know what, though?
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, it's
Great
funny,
hat.
but now
Yeah.
there's video of you that lives forever wearing that hat.
It's okay.
And then,
it's all right.
I know you're.
Make all the memes. I can live with it.
Yeah, I don't want to be associated with that right now because I am a Browns fan.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to poke fun at another team that's bad. I can do that all day. It's so painful when you point out your own flaws.
Oh yeah.
Because you know they're there and everybody else sees them, and that's kind of what we do here every day on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. But yeah, back to those ticket prices. I don't know how they're going to fill that stadium. I don't know how they're going to do it. I really don't. And,
Well, that's their problem.
One of the councilmen has constantly used the word boondoggle in talking about the stadium.
Great word.
It's a great word,
What does that
underutilized
mean?
word. Boondoggle is
Heard it
basically
before.
trickery. Like, this is what we're showing you, but this is reality.
Like sleight of hand?
Yeah, a little bit.
Or-
I hope I have that.
or-
It's like when you're
definition.
watching, when you're looking for an Airbnb and the pictures look amazing, and then you get to the house and it's just like,
Yes, it's false
okay.
advertising.
Misleading.
It's misleading. And
Hoodwinked?
hoodwinked. That's another good word.
Bamboozled.
Boondoggle, the official definition of boondoggle, because I mean I could be wrong. Work or activity that is wasteful or pointless, but gives the appearance of having value. That's basically what we said. And there's been a councilman who has constantly used that word. He's used it in this sense. Haslam is telling us one thing, when in reality, it's going to be another thing. And the real boondoggle in all of this might be on Jimmy. That Jimmy felt like this was his ticket to eternal riches and Jimmy's football palace, when in reality, just because they build it, and we're going to talk about this when we get into the prices, doesn't mean they're going to come.
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
And on a deeper level, I mean, you can build all the stadiums you want. I don't see nobody ever take it with them.
No.
You can't take none
It's
of that
staying
with you,
in that
bro.
footprint in Brook Park.
you that like yeah, like that sound good, bro. But I mean, I be seeing people be talking about the legacy pieces. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like I ain't seen nobody with a U-Haul truck behind them, bro.
I've never seen a hole big enough to bury a U-Haul truck.
Yeah, you can get in that.
They're usually 6 feet by.
Maybe they'll bury Jimmy inside the stadium, under the ground.
They've done that before with someone named Jimmy.
It's true.
Wow,
If
man.
you know, you know.
That's right.
That was a bar, man.
Well
what I got to
played.
do?
Allegedly.
I got to put it in subtitles or something. Dang, that was crazy.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of young kids have probably never heard that name.
That skipped
No.
right over.
So,
some
yeah, a
people.
lot of people are probably like, huh? Mike, let's dive in.
Let's do it, guys. A couple things I really want to get to, so make sure we'll get enough time. We also got Ross Tucker joining us at noon. Love having Ross Tucker on. Our first topic of the day is brought to us by Mazda. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like that, there's more to every highlight. There's more to every Mazda. Mazda. Move and be moved. Guys, I've been holding on to this topic for a while. I thought we could have done it a couple weeks ago, but there was so much drama going on with the Browns. I said, let's wait for the bye week. We'll have a full, essentially half season. Now with the 17 games, you don't really get that 50-point way of the season. So it's as close as we can get to 50%. Dustin, I'm going to start with you on this one. When you look at the overall Browns roster, and you look at the Browns coaching staff, and you look at the dilemma that they are currently sitting in at 2-6, when you have to identify the biggest problem with the Browns right now, would you say it's more of a coaching issue or more of a lack of talent on the roster issue?
Well, there's talent on the roster. There's no doubt that there's some talent on this football team, but there's just not enough at the key positions to sustain winning, frankly. They've got good players on defense. They've got one of the best defensive players we've ever seen. But on the offensive side of the ball, they just don't have enough horses to hold up to sustain those wins. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have receivers. And then at the end of the day, I would say the coaching staff certainly deserves a lot of blame, because you continue to not be able to score more than 13 points a game.
Scheme it up.
And it's not just with Dylan Gabriel. It's been every quarterback essentially going back several years. Right.
If you had to say like a percentage-wise,
Yeah.
like 30% of it's Stefanski, 70% of his lack of talent, how would you split that pie?
Man, it's probably impossible to really put a
Just a
number
guess,
on it, but it's at least 50-50. I mean, and at this point, I'd probably say at this point, because the coaches have had a lot of time, like they've had 6 years, right? They've been to 6 years.
This is the sixth year.
Yeah.
6 years, guys.
And they're what, 9? Yeah, Stefanski's 8 or 9 games under 500.
We're on a 12-game road losing streak.
Where the defense has played poorly
Yes.
on the road too.
Yeah. I mean, I would say at this point, I'd probably put more onus on the coaching staff.
So 64.
Sure.
Okay. G, where are you?
You want a percentage?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it allows us to get our minds around, because obviously it's a shared problem. It's not all Stefanski or all lack of talent.
I'm gonna go with 65-35.
Coach.
The reason I'm gonna go 65-35 with the coaches is simply because if you take a look at the pillars of what organizations built their franchises around, the first thing they look at is go get an elite pass rusher. You have the best one in the league. Second thing they look to do is say, hey, okay, well, now we got a pass rusher. Let's pair that with somebody in the back end.
But what about the quarterback? Isn't quarterback first usually?
Well, I'm gonna get to the quarterback. So,
okay.
But here's the top 3 positions in football. Usually, people say you got quarterback, you got defensive lineman, somebody who can get to quarterback. Then you got receiver, and then somebody that can stop receivers and cornerbacks, and then obviously offensive line. If you look at the talent that they have an elite corner. They got elite, the best defensive player in the league. They got good linebackers. They got a solid defense in positions and parts. However, they are lacking a quarterback. They're lacking any sort of explosive wide receiver. And they're lacking offensive linemen of any sort that do anything. So when you got those sort of deficiencies, I'm like, okay. But we have seen in different places where you've had players here. Baker's done his best football. This is the greatest hits. Baker's playing better than he's ever played. You had a guy in Deshaun Watson who, by the way, we look at it now, but Deshaun Watson, when they traded for him, was universally known as a top 5, at worst, top 10 quarterback. That didn't work. Joe Flacco was here. You said Joe Flacco gave you a great opportunity, right? He leaves here, he throws for 350 10 days later with no training camp, no OTAs, no nothing. So to me, yes, you do have a lack of players, but that comes from your organization not being able to identify and put those players in a good position. Jerry Judy's fallen off a cliff. Tyvis sat here and told us, hey, maybe put him in a slot, why don't you? You know, he's on the outside, let's figure some stuff out. So to me, and after watching the film countless games, I just don't think he's a very creative play caller. I would say let Tommy Rees get an opportunity to see what we can do. But to me, I would go 65-35. I put it on the coach and then the player aspect at 35%.
Jay?
I'm pretty much in line with you guys. I think that I tend to usually say it's Jimmy's and Joe's. That's always the philosophy I've always looked at. It's so hard to win with bad players. It is so hard to win with bad players. But to your point, G, you've got the best defensive player in the game. And you've got a top 4, depending on the year. He's had some ups and downs. Mm-hmm. But I think top 3 is a little bit of a stretch, but you could go that far if you wanted with
top
Denzel
5.
Ward. Definitely top 5 corner.
Yeah, top 5.
Definitely. So to me, if you have someone who puts elite pressure on the quarterback, that means he's got to get rid of it quickly. If you've got an elite corner, these passes should all be short passes. So you've got 2 of the critical pieces to have an elite defense. At times it's a boondoggle. At times they've looked elite.
The word of the day.
but they're not elite because you have to go on their body of work, not their best performance. If a dude goes out and rolls a 300, but in the other 2 games he throws a 75, his average is 150.
Yeah.
And so their bad performances pulls their regression back to average, middle of the pack. That's what I think the defense is, because they're elite at home and they're not good on the road. But I say that to say, I think that's got to be coaching somehow, some way. When you have 2 elite chips on the defense and some other emerging talent, by the way, you should be very good. Now, this is where it gets tricky for me because it's an offensive league still. You have to score points to win, and they cannot. We'll never see it, but here's what I would love to know. If Andy Reid was the coach of the Browns from July 1st of this year, what would their points per game look like?
More.
Undoubtedly more. But would it be nominally more? Would it be a touchdown a game more? Which, by the way, even at a touchdown a game more, which is just about a 50% production increase, that's still not good enough. It's just not. So at some point, you're going to be punished by your lack of talent. And when you look at the offense, I said this Monday, I've said this really going back to training camp, it is an egregious lack of talent. It's not just like, wow, squint hard, maybe you can see. I don't even know if we really know what Judkins is. We've seen flashes for sure. Mm-hmm. But again, if you bowl a 300 and you bowl 275s, you're a 150 bowler. He's looked like a 300 bowler in moments, and he's looked like a 75 bowler in other moments. Mm-hmm. I do think there's something there. I do think there's something there with Fannin. And because of that, I think Andy Reid could say, wow, you give me a tight end and a running back? Yeah, I'll give you points. And that's where I really ding Stefanski. He has schemed up nothing. I watch every week thinking, okay, we're going to see something special this week. We saw the Wildcat against Miami, that it worked. We later found out that was only put in because of the weather. It wasn't because they need to be creative and find new ways to score at the goal line.
Yeah.
That was a little disappointing. So for me, I think I could easily get to 65-35 Stefanski and lack of talent. But I do want to point out our lack of talent on the offense. This might be the worst. I don't even think, are they ranked 32nd in yards or points?
Steve, take
I
13
think they're
again.
30th
You can
in
see
points.
they're 30th in points. They're 30th in yards, pass yards.
To
They're
think there's
29th in
two
rush
offenses
yards.
worse than this is kind of gross.
Yeah.
But
Who's the
it's
other
bad.
offenses? The
I
Titans.
would,
Tennessee.
I would say Tennessee and maybe the Jets, but the Jets had a big
No,
output.
just scored like 40.
Yeah, they had a
don't
big.
think so.
Maybe Jacksonville.
Two teams worse in points
No?
per game are
Oakland or
Vegas and Tennessee.
Vegas.
Okay, Vegas and Tennessee. It's so it's I don't think it's historically bad, but by my anecdotal Browns viewing, this is the worst I've ever seen.
You know, I got to say, I am stunned that you all blame the coach more than the talent. I'm shocked. I did not think I'd be alone on this, but to me, as much as I have beef with Kevin Stefanski and think it's time for him to go, to me it's very clearly a talent problem more than a coaching problem.
I know, but doesn't it sort of swing for you because there is talent on the defense?
I mean, there's some talent on the defense, and
Well,
the defense is...
there's two elite players over there.
Okay, but two elite players is not enough. You got to have other good players. They have some. And the defense outside of this past week has played well. The defense has played good to great every game but one, which was this past week.
My thing is, Adam, when it comes to the coaching staff,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, if you don't have talent, well, then the coaches know they don't have talent. So you have to do other things to actually manipulate a defense and put together a game plan to go out and score some points. And I always make this joke, but like Army and Navy score touchdowns. They don't have the talent.
An Army and Navy, you're not playing against NFL teams. So that's a big difference.
I understand. I'm just giving a little example to make the point. And I'm not even saying that they need, like Army and Navy, they win games. Like the Browns they can't even score a freaking touchdown.
I hear you. It's terrible. And there's no pass for the coach, but both are terrible. So we're it's
a bad combo. Put
It's
it
a
that way.
terrible combo.
Yeah.
But Jay,
Other
you specifically said Andy Reid. And to answer this question, I thought to myself, if I put Andy Reid on the Browns, how many more wins would they have? If I put Kevin Stefanski on the Chiefs, how fewer wins would they have? And it's just an opinion. There's obviously no way to know for sure.
You don't think it would be significant?
I do not think it would be significant. No.
In terms of wins.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
No.
I think the Browns might have 1 to 2 more wins.
You think they'd have 2 more wins?
I
with
know. I
Andy Reid as
said
coach?
1 to 2.
Yeah.
I think that he would have found a way.
I just don't
to
believe
beat
that.
Cincinnati, which I think now we know what Cincinnati is.
Look, the part that gets me is I watch every single game they have, right? And you watch every single film breakdown they have, and it's high school.
Yeah,
Like,
but G. Bush, would you agree the Browns have the worst talent on offense in the entire league?
Yes.
Okay, so
but hold on. But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I always get.
Yeah.
Like Dustin said, it is malpractice if we are sitting here, right, and we're doing a show, right?
Yeah.
And the lighting is off and the microphones don't work, right? And people are complaining in the chat. And we sit here and we have a meeting after the show and we say, hey, what do you guys suggest? And we sit here and say nothing. We're like, dude, the microphones is trash and the lighting is horrible.
Yeah.
If you are in a position and you are the head coach and you are in the meetings and you are in the know, it is unacceptable to say, all right, I like my receivers. I like my talent. They've said they like their talent, bull.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't like when they say nothing in press conferences.
But no, they
but the reality
say they like
is
it.
the reality is the offensive talent on this roster is the worst in the league. I don't think there's any argument. If you
I know.
combine,
How are I haven't watched a lot of the Raiders, and I haven't watched a lot of the Saints.
I mean,
I can't imagine.
how could they be worse?
I can't imagine it's worse.
Who's in charge of going to the general manager saying, I need this for my team?
But that's not the question here.
Okay.
We're turning this into just killing Stefanski again, which we always do, and it's fine, and I want him out too. But the question specifically is, what's the bigger problem? Doesn't mean that the smaller problem is not also a problem.
What's your split if it's not 50-50?
I'd say 70-30 talent.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The talent's terrible on this team.
Listen, I could be talked into that because the offense is so bad.
I can't be talked into it because I watched the film and they run sit-downs and check-down routes.
So did Stefanski forget how to be a good coach?
I don't think
because-
I think Stefanski is a run-of-the-mill coach, and I think the Browns have bottom tier talent.
The data doesn't point it out. The film work doesn't point it out. You can think that he's a run-of-the-mill coach, but when you sit here and watch every single play, and every single play looks like a high school game, and you're like, that route is not creative. Why are we running that on third down? Why are there 3 guys in one place on the football field?
Right.
Why are we only got 1 guy in the pattern? Why are we running the ball and guys aren't being blocked? It's like,
but I'm not arguing that he's not doing a bad job. He is doing a bad job.
I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to say he's not. I'm just saying the lack of talent. I don't. think
you're not 100-0.
No,
all players.
no.
I'm not 100-0 either.
I'm just saying that like the Browns have never had less talent on their offense. Never.
Not in my lifetime.
Not in the
I've been watching
0-16 year. They had Josh Gordon, didn't they? Or am I making
No,
that
Josh.
up?
He was on the roster.
But remember, wasn't he sitting out with suspensions?
Was Terrell Pryor here for that?
I can't remember now. It's been so many years. But they had a few decent players on the offensive line. The Browns have nothing.
What they average per year in points per game when they were 0-16.
I'm sure it's more than we have now.
No, it's like right around.
It was terrible. The talent then was terrible also.
Yeah, it was bad.
But this is hideous. You don't have one, like, your best offensive lineman is retiring at the end of the year. Your best running back's a rookie who's banged up.
None of them are coming back. So it'd be one thing if you had one hole to plug on the line. You have 5. I mean, you could re-sign 2 of these guys.
Yeah.
I don't know that they will.
Yeah.
But even if you resign 2 of them, you have 3 gaping holes in your line. You have no wide receiver talent.
Right.
You have no quarterback. Like, we don't have enough draft picks to fix
You have 3 starters on the team, and that's being generous, including Jerry Jeudy, because hoping he could bounce back next year. That's it. You have Jeudy, Fannin, and Judkins. Those are your only starters on the entire. There's no other legitimate starters for next year on this entire offense.
Fannin's
And yes, there's talent on the defense, but there's also been good coaching on the defense. Jim Schwartz has done a good job.
I go back to it. You go back to 2016 when the Browns went 0-something. I could have told you where they went 0-something because they drafted Cody Kessler in the late rounds, who had the same skill set as Dylan Gabriel. He was a guy, they said it was smart. He had a below average arm, but he was going to be a guy that they really believed in. Hugh Jackson put him in. He was horrible. 3rd round pick, we talked about it yesterday, man. At the end of the day, you can't say it's talent, but Kevin Stefanski could have picked any quarterback in that draft. He could have had him.
Here's how
That's who he chose.
Now
maybe
this is not fair, but here's how I get you all to admit I'm right.
You might.
100%.
You might.
Would you rather trade coaches or rosters with the Chiefs right now?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I mean, that's like a loaded
That's
question.
you know what it is? It's an interesting way of coming at this question because when you put it that way, that's easy.
But
easy.
Easy.
But you can't say that because here's the reason.
Yeah.
It's not. I keep going back to this, and I'm wanting to understand how you absolve them of this. The Chiefs actively chose the people. Andy Reid chose the people.
Yeah, but now,
wanted.
like Bull said, though, that's going back to how the cake was made.
Yeah,
not what the cake.
Nobody's
tastes
saying
like.
Kevin Stefanski.
You're right, G. You're right that the construction of this roster is a fireball.
And Kevin Stefanski is
and
partly to blame for the lack of talent.
Yes, he is. They're all matched out.
If I was making an argument that Kevin Stefanski should keep his job, then what you're saying is fine. I'm not making that argument.
Right.
I'm just saying if I had to decide what's the bigger issue, I'd say the talent because I'd much rather have the Chiefs roster than the Chiefs coach.
I would too.
And I would say that about any good team in the NFL.
Yeah, because it is the players.
Yes,
it's the Jimmys and the Joes.
But that's a bigger impact.
But that's obvious.
You flip me, Bull.
Like that's obvious.
Yes.
Like
you flipped me.
I mean,
that was a great way of putting it.
I mean, actually, to be truthful, the only way he flipped you is because they have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but that's what.
That's
a big part of it.
Let's pick a different team. Let's pick a mid-level team.
What'd you say, Mike? I didn't hear you.
Instead of picking different teams who have the best quarterback in football.
Okay, let's pick a team with a good quarterback, not a great quarterback.
The Eagles.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Give me their players.
But their rosters.
I mean, they're loaded.
The rest of their rosters.
Yeah, but
they're loaded.
You said pick a different team. I picked a different team.
What about Denver?
Denver.
Give me the Browns roster.
Yeah, I'd take Denver's roster. That's not even close.
Give me the Browns roster.
Yeah, no, give me Denver's roster.
Denver's got a great defense also, just as good, if not better than the Browns.
Did we watch the Cowboys game on Sunday? Like
Yeah, what are you
the
talking
Broncos
about?
Cowboys. I mean, the Broncos
Broncos
are
won.
really good. No, I know, but the Broncos
Yeah.
are good.
Oh, so you're agreeing with
Yes,
me?
they're very good. Hey, give me the Denver Broncos players. Give me Bo Nix. I mean, it's a quarterback league.
Listen, it's close. It's close.
Wow,
but,
really? You
yeah,
would wait a minute.
It's close.
I got to get this right in my mind. You would take right now, if someone said to you, gee, we can take all 53 and send them to Denver.
Garrett, think about this hard before you say
Yeah, think about this
I
hard.
know you're
'cause
down on
this is
Stefanski. I
this-
get it.
This is one of those.
No, it's not.
You talk about legacy leaving.
No, what do you mean? What are you talking
will
about?
one day go down as saying, yeah, I like the Browns players more than I like the Broncos players. This was a team that made the playoffs a year ago. Sean Payton has had some questionable years after his great year in New Orleans.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, these guys, are you serious?
Am I serious?
All right, here
All
you go.
the floor
Here's
is yours, buddy.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and explain it. I got Quinshon Judkins. I think that he's better than anybody that they have on in terms of their backs.
I don't know that.
Okay, even if we
hold
give you that,
on,
fine,
hold
that's
on.
one spot.
I'll give you that.
If you look at the top 5 players,
Yeah.
if you say give me the top 5 players for the Broncos and the Browns, I got the top 3.
No, I'm not saying top. I'm saying all
So
53.
I'm just giving
Wait,
you.
Well,
you said you
how
had
do you
top
get the top
three?
3?
Listen,
Who are the top 3?
listen. Right now, I take Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward over anybody they got over there.
Patrick
Patrick
Surtain.
Surtain.
I got
Okay.
NFL
Okay.
Defensive Player of the Year.
I got Patrick Surtain. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But at least I got 2 out of the 3 top.
But that's-
Yeah, but even if we're not even going to say that they're a wash, Surtain is better than
I got Quinshon Judkins. That's another one.
again. I just don't know what he is. He
They've
was
got
9
Cortland
carries.
Sutton.
Okay.
He's way better than any skilled
Any
position player. the
receiver.
Broncos
So
have.
you got Cortland Sutton. That's cool. I
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah.
When you go.
How about offensive line?
Listen.
The game's won in the trenches.
Hey,
you know that.
We literally gave the Browns our hand-me-down receiver, and he sucks.
Yes,
Listen.
you're
listen.
right. And
Y'all-
by we, he's obviously a Broncos
The
fan.
Broncos, if you looking at it.
They're top 10 in offense and 5th in defense.
So
I mean,
watch this. But so hold
top
on. Ain't
10.
no G.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
who they got to coach. Who
It doesn't.
hold on.
Yeah.
We
To me,
talk
the
about
coaches are almost a wash.
No. How the coaches is a wash? Sean Payton took a rookie, put him in, he was cooking.
I know he did, but Sean Payton's also had some. How did Sean Payton look with Russell Wilson?
Sean Payton had the heart to do what Kevin Stefanski couldn't do. You know what he did?
No.
You know what he did? They traded for Russell Wilson, and you know what he did? He took the cap hit and said, "Get up out of here."
Well, now listen. The owner and no, that was not a coach's decision. G. Their owner said, "Do it."
Hold on.
Our owner said, "Hell no."
Watch this. Hold on. They got rid of him. They took the cap hit. They went in the draft and drafted Bo Nix.
Right.
Nobody thought Bo Nix was going to cook. They took him. They played him the first year, and guess what happened? They made the playoffs.
Yeah, but G.
But what?
Their owner gave him permission to do that.
But hold on.
None of this has to do with the fact that you're arguing you rather have the coach than the talent. The Broncos are way more talented. G.
What I'm saying to you is the talent differentiation is not that crazy between the two teams.
Yes, it is.
The difference between the Broncos and what the Browns are is squarely right on that sideline. When you look at what you mean? Come on. What the Browns drafted Dylan Gabriel. They took the wrong Oregon quarterback.
So if Sean Payton's our head coach right now,
that has
our
nothing
record
to
is
do with
what?
this
Sean
argument.
Payton has thrown for millions of yards everywhere with Drew Brees, and he was a. What are you talking about, Jay?
I asked you a question.
He's a Super Bowl winning
If
coach.
Sean Payton was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns right now, our record would be what?
They have at least 1 or 2 more wins. At least. That puts you at 4 wins.
Kevin Stefanski had all of the Broncos players to coach here in Cleveland, our record would be what?
About the same.
Same as it is now?
He be throwing check down routes today.
Come on, G. You're letting your hatred for Stefanski, which I get,
Bro, I'm like,
cloud you, I think.
Whoa,
Yeah.
listen. It ain't no hatred for Stefanski.
Internet lives forever.
No. There ain't no hatred for Stefanski. You go back and you look at what the body of work he's put on the football field. You guys rub his shoulders all week and say, "Oh, well, it's not that bad. Like, we killed him yesterday, so let's come on today."
No, that's baloney. That's an unfair accusation.
What do you mean?
That's an unfair accusation.
Bro, I'm sitting here telling
We all
you.
want him fired. I want him fired.
What I'm saying
Don't
to
want,
you,
but what you're saying is unfair.
No, it's not. He's been the worst offense the last 2 years.
Agreed.
So who are you putting ahead of him?
I'd rather have the talent, the players, than the coach.
So
That's more important.
So here's what we're gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you really quickly.
Yeah.
Who has Kevin Stefanski bowled with ever?
Well, I watched him take two different teams.
I asked individuals
to the playoffs in 6 years.
But you're changing the question.
I watched that.
I just asked you a simple question.
That.
No, actually, he took a team and he didn't win a playoff game. He was at home.
No, I didn't say. Now you put words in my mouth. I said he took two different teams.
Okay.
To the playoffs. Factually correct.
He took two different teams
I'm not
to the
giving him
playoff.
that playoff win.
He
wasn't even there.
I'm asking you.
I don't know what you're arguing about.
I'm asking you where the development is.
I think what's happened here is, and I get it, sometimes you just make a statement and then you're like, oh, God, there's no way to get out of that.
I'm doubling, tripling down. I would take the Browns roster is not that different and not that crazy. I got the best defensive player in the world. What are you talking about?
Well, actually, the best defensive player in the world right now, according to the NFL.
It is not. Stop.
Wait,
Jay, stop.
MVP?
It's Miles Garrett.
Stop.
Right now, this year it is.
Stop. Jay,
but last year,
come on, Jay.
So we're splitting hairs.
Jay,
We
come
got
on,
the last two defensive MVPs.
It doesn't matter.
Miles Garrett's better than
It's
Sertan.
one
Of
player,
course
though,
he
G.
is.
It's one player. I'm not arguing with that. Listen,
Yeah, it's not a trade one for one. It's
here's the thing.
53 for 53.
I would trade, and again, for the 18th time, I'll say I want Kevin Stefanski out of here. But I would trade the Browns roster, if I had to choose, trade their roster for any other team's roster or trade the coach for any other team's coach. I would either trade the roster or make no trade at all. There's no team where I'd rather trade for the coach because the coaches, the other bad teams, the coaches think
With this roster,
there too.
what are you going to do with it?
No, it's not that. It's
Look,
just
I mean, the reality is they're both really bad.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
bad talent
Yes.
and bad coaching.
Yes.
Like, what are we
Yes.
arguing over?
Yes.
Like, we're splitting hairs, guys.
I think that-
and
I think what we- I think what we
we're
kind
all
of
we're all
fell
sort of
into-
looking silly here. They're
What we
so
fell
bad.
What we fell into was the way Bull phrased.
Yeah, I knew that was going to make it.
Well,
Yeah.
when you put it that way, Bull,
Yeah.
it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Because it might be close for you. I would have to think about that for 1/10 of a second. I'd be afraid if I thought about it any longer, Denver would say, no way. Do you think right now Denver's GM would call Cleveland and say, I've been looking at your team. Yeah. I got a lot of possibilities with that roster.
Yeah.
We're going to do an unprecedented roster swap. You cool?
Is there any team where you'd rather switch coaches than rosters with the Browns?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Coaches?
I mean, I would love to have Andy Reid.
Of course.
I would love to have Andy Reid.
Of course.
But
there's a lot of coaches I'd rather have.
Here's the
but not
question.
at the
You know what
expense
the
of getting
question
their
is?
team.
Would you take any jockey and put him on any horse and expect him to ride him to the victory? No.
Right.
The horse carries the jockey.
But
And the
ultimately,
team
yes.
carries the coach.
but that's
And the coach makes it better or worse.
Of course he does.
But
You know where the coach makes a difference? In the last two games of the season.
No,
when every little decision matters.
No, the coach makes it. Here's this. This is wild because you're sitting here trying to act like the dude that's sitting on the sidelines, drawing the plays, calling the plays, making evaluations on who should play, is not somehow culpable.
Nobody's
I would
saying
give you.
that.
I would agree with you if this were true. What I'm about to say. If I had never seen that coach draw plays and score points and win games, I would be with you. If you took those two playoff seasons out of his body of work, I would be with you. Because here's the question I would be asking. Can he do it? I don't think he can do it. I've never seen him do it. Here's what gives me pause about it. I've seen him with my own eyes do it. We sat here, G, and you sang his praises too, brother. When they made the playoffs.
Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you.
You were singing his praises.
And guess what? We came back in here. See, sometimes y'all got to understand, life isn't static. You don't just stay in one spot.
Of course you don't.
The coaches say all the time, you're either getting better or you're getting worse.
Correct.
And Stefanski's gotten worse.
So here's
Definitely.
my thing. Yeah. And when he went to the playoffs, Jay, the sound bites tell it all. What did we forget? Did DeMeco Ryans tell his player, stand right there. I'm going to tell you where he's going to throw the football. Right there. Stand right there. And he's going to throw it to you.
Yes.
Pick 6.
And they lost.
And guess what? Here's what I'm saying to you. The fact that they know that. And the coaches, I didn't say it. Listen to what they're saying.
But
DeMeco Ryans, Mike Vrabel laughed at that man last week.
Did the 16 games or 17 games in the regular season that mattered to get them to the playoffs, those don't count?
You've been figured out.
It took 17 games.
You've been figured out. You take a look at what he did in the beginning of his career.
It worked. I've seen it work for 2 seasons.
What are they in their last 30 games? What is it? Can we get the?
I think they're 5-25.
So
I'll
something
get
like
the
that.
official number.
You play 30 games. You're 5-25, but we're still talking about what he did 4 years ago.
Have we not on this show talked about how absolutely awful the offensive line is?
Sure.
Have we not on this show talked about how inexcusable it is that this team doesn't have a wide receiver?
Sure.
He had 2 receptions for 31 yards by wide receivers on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 things can be true at once.
Yes.
And they are.
65-35.
The team is bad and the coach is bad.
Okay.
But when you put it in the terms that Bull put it, I don't change my mind very often. But Bull, that is a powerful argument. I do think that I think Adam's right. I think you are kind of caught up in the moment, and I know you want Stefanski out of here.
No,
I get that. We all do.
This doesn't excuse Stefanski's head coaching.
No, it's not. But to say that you would take Cleveland's talent with Sean Payton is wild work.
Hold on. How is it wild work for me to say that Sean Payton has been more of an accomplished coach in this league?
But that's not what we're arguing.
Okay. I argue that.
So how is it crazy when 4 or 5 weeks ago you guys are talking about the Cleveland Browns having the best defense of all time? By the way, By the way, in 2023, why we want to talk about the rosters? If you want to go to 2023, people in this show said it was a top 5 defense of all time.
And then we were wrong.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
And we said we were wrong.
So here's the thing. You can be, things change over time then, what you're saying.
Sure, they change.
So I can say, you know what? Stefanski was a good coach at one point in time, but you get new information, Jay.
Of course you do.
You're arguing
the new information on
as
the
if
Browns
we're
team.
saying I'm saying the Broncos have better talent than the Browns, and you're arguing as if I'm saying Kevin Stefanski's a good coach.
Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I am saying, to me, the talent differentiation is not as big as
here's what G. Bush is saying. Here's what G. Bush is saying.
Yeah.
What he's been killing the receivers coach for saying. I like my room.
No, actually,
I like my talent.
Actually,
you just said it.
Actually, by the way, hold on. Before I came up with the term "gentleman's punt," I told you about receivers 3 years ago. I told you about linemen 2 years ago when people saying Jed Wills was okay. Now he's out of the league. Who was that guy? I got you because I told you before. I got the Duke of knee-jerk because I told you he didn't have no receivers. And you wanted Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Is inactive.
Last thing on this before we move on. If you asked every owner in the league right now, would you rather have Kevin Stefanski in the Broncos roster or the Browns roster and Sean Payton? Do you think anybody would pick the Browns roster and Sean Payton?
Be honest now.
You asking me, should...
Those are your choices. Those are your only choices.
Would any of the GMs make the decision that you want to make?
GM.
You're saying...
nobody. If you went to every GM in the NFL and said, here are your choices. You could have Kevin Stefanski as your head coach and the Broncos roster, or you can have the Browns roster and Sean Payton as your head coach. You think anybody would take Payton in the Browns roster?
Well, he is.
Yeah, I think some people would take that.
So? Okay. Hey, listen.
It might not be a bunch, but some people would take that.
Fair enough.
The Browns have the 32nd best roster in the league, and the Broncos
32nd best offense. They don't have the 32nd best roster.
All right, so 26th best.
So,
at the end we'll find out at the end with our draft order. Last year we were number 2.
But the point is the Broncos have a top 10 roster in the league.
Yes.
They probably do.
They have the
number 5
offense
defense
and the 5th defense.
I guess it also depends how good you think Bo Nix is. That's part of it. But still, in the end.
I mean,
that does have to factor into the equation. But here's what I know definitively: he's better than anything we have.
Tom Brady said something, and I thought he was spot on. He said we rank players all the time. We rank them all the time. And we say, oh, this guy's a top 10 quarterback. He's coming out number 1. We rank him all the time. He said, but we don't understand. This has a lot to do with who's on your roster and how guys perform. It's who's your play caller and who's the head coach. We don't rank head coaches 1 through 32. He said, what if you're a guy that you're a quarterback? Tom Brady said it. I didn't say it. Mm-hmm. He said, what if you're a quarterback and you got the 32nd worst play caller and the 29th worst head coach? You don't think that plays a role in the way you play? So what I'm saying is we could talk about the rosters.
If you ask me, would I rather have Sean Payton and the Broncos roster or Kevin Stefanski in the Broncos roster? I'm going to tell you Sean Payton.
And here's another way to ask it.
Yeah.
When was the last time in any sport a bad team won a championship. I'm not saying not the best team.
Yeah,
I'm saying a bad team. I don't remember it ever happening.
No.
Ever. No. Bad teams don't win championships. No. I've seen some coaches that have won championships that I didn't think were great coaches. They won.
Yeah.
They won in spite of the coach because their talent was so great. I don't think Brian Billick was a great football coach. He had great talent on defense.
And that doesn't mean coaches don't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Right?
It doesn't. But sometimes your talent is so good. Again, it's the horse carrying the jockey to the winner's circle.
Right.
And the jockey can make a little bit of difference during the ride. It's the same thing in football. The team is the horse. The coach is the jockey. The jockey can absolutely win it for you, and he can lose it for you. But you're not winning it on a dead horse.
Ed Orgeron is probably not the best college football coach of all time, right?
No, he's not.
Okay, but he's got a natty.
He's got it because he had so much freaking talent that he couldn't mess it up.
But
they won in spite of the
Gene
coach.
Chizik has a natty.
Again, they won in spite of the coach.
Cam. Got Cam.
But I've never seen a bad team win a championship.
I will say this, though. Ed Orgeron is not a great X's and O's guy, but you know what counts? He recruits his ass off.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, give me Ed as a recruiter any day.
Yeah, he got the talent.
I will give you that.
He got the talent.
And you know what? In college, this is different because in college, you can make a difference that way. Like in college, you can go get whoever you want to get.
Not as much
in
anymore.
the NFL. No, not well.
Yeah.
Well, you got a bag.
Pockets.
Right.
You got the bag.
So my point is, in college, success. Like I'm impressed. Don't take this the wrong way.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a Buckeye through and through. I'm impressed with what the Buckeyes have done. But in college, you have so many inherent advantages.
Oh, yeah.
Tradition, facilities, now budget. In college, you can't just go get, or in the NFL, you can't just, I want this guy and 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 this guy. Bring them all in, let's win. You can't do that in the NFL because the structure of the league is set up so everyone's on a 5 or a 10-year talent cycle. We want you to be good, then we want you to be bad, then we want you to be good. And some teams defy that in both ways. The Steelers somehow stay at the top end of the talent cycle. The Packers somehow stay at the top end. The Chiefs, the Patriots, some teams stay at the bottom end of the talent cycle. The Browns, the Jets, the Jags, the Panthers, the Saints. We can't get out of our funk.
Some teams take good picks and pick bad players. And some teams have lower picks.
Yeah.
And take good players.
Yeah,
the Browns have had high picks. I mean, good picks, meaning high picks. You know, every year. When those bad organizations continue to take bad players, that's why they're there.
Well,
but like good organizations, like the Chiefs or like the Patriots,
the Ravens,
or the
Steelers,
the Ravens draft. I mean, like,
but
think about all the good players, those
Browns
starters
made it
they
even
have.
more difficult on themselves when they said for a 3-year stretch, we're not going to pick at the top of the draft. And we're not going to pick 2 in the 3rd round and 1 in the 4th round. They gave those picks away. So, yes, they have misused their draft currency in a horrible way the last 6 years. But they also gave away the most bars of gold during that time.
Yeah. And
like, how are you going to be good then?
And the misusing the draft currency is much longer than this current regime.
Yeah.
It goes back
unfortunately, yeah.
It goes back.
Well, that was spirited, guys.
Yeah.
Before we move on, just 2 things to update. Last 30-game record for the Browns, they're 9-21. We said 5-25. They're 9-21.
Wow, I don't remember.
Because it goes back
9
30
wins in
games,
it.
goes back to the Joe Flacco December where they won 4 or 5. So that.
I'm going back to, I think what I was thinking of, and maybe it's
you're
only
thinking of
5
last
and 20.
season and this team.
The 2 seasons together, because we were 3-14 and now we're 2-6.
Yep, just
so
wanted
that's
to
5 and 20.
Just wanted to
It's
clarify
5 and
that.
But you know what? To G's point, that's trash.
Including the playoffs, they've lost 22 of the last 27 games.
And G, I know you were alone in the panel in terms of arguing for Stefanski. The chat agrees with you 68% to 32%.
I'm not surprised by that.
A coaching issue, not a lack of roster issue.
Shout out to the cult. Yeah, no, I'm playing.
It is the cult. You got it right. You got it right.
I was saying to myself,
I see what you did there.
in my mind, I was like, G is so far off the reservation on this one, even the chat's not going to be with
but you
him
know
this
what?
time.
I would have guessed that the chat would have followed this. I would have guessed. Because I think what's happened in Cleveland is there are a lot of folks that were on the Stefanski bus that are no longer on the Stefanski bus, and one of the reasons they're no longer on the bus is because of his insistence that Shedeur Sanders isn't going to step foot on the
But
football
I'm
field.
one of the. I'm off the Stefanski bus, but it's crazy to think.
Right,
Yeah,
I'm
whatever,
off it
to me,
too.
to
I'm
me.
off it too,
We
but
already
for a
this
different
for 40
reason.
minutes. We got to get
Anyway,
to some
go ahead.
ticket
Let's keep it
prices.
moving.
We're going to show you these ticket prices after a quick word from Game Time, guys. The NFL season's back. The NBA season is here, and there's nothing better than being in the stadium for the best live sporting events. If you want to buy tickets online to any kind of sporting event, Game Time is the only app you should be using. It's fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee, where you always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best prices. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, and go. Download Game Time today. So, guys, we're going to play you a little TikTok in a sec from someone named John Clee Sports, who is a current season ticket holder for the Cleveland Browns. And he got this fan survey, and he's able to show you and point out where some of the seats are located, what they're asking for price-wise, and what the one-time PSL is worth. And before we do that, I just want to mention that we got a bunch of tweets this morning saying, hey, how did Buffalo do with selling their PSLs? How are those fans doing with these increased prices?
It's a good question.
And according to an article from the Buffalo Tribune from September 24th of 2025, Buffalo has sold out all of their upper level, the high-end high-end pricing. They've sold out 45,000 of 53,000 PSL so far.
Let me tell you something.
What was the price?
Okay, go ahead.
The high-end ones are between, and I just had this up, so let me find my own tweet because I just tweeted this out a second ago. I'll read this. This is a direct quote from the Buffalo article.
Right.
Although there was some sticker shock expressed by fans when club seats range from 8,000 to 50,000 per PSL at the new stadium, and some of the higher and lower level seats were going between 5,000 and 10,000 for the PSL, price points have gone down as the Bills began selling seats in the corner and end zones. Club seats and suites have sold out. Overall, they've sold 45,000 out of the 53,000 possible PSL.
Now, there's one major difference between the two. I don't even probably have to say it, do I? Between Buffalo and Cleveland?
It's very obvious.
They win.
Yeah.
That too. So
They also only have
that's what it's about. They win.
Well, another piece also is they have two major league teams, with one being hockey.
They do, but
and
they
we have
also,
three.
I would say that's counterbalanced by their lack of population.
That's true.
Their metro area is not as big as our metro
That's true.
area.
Big time.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything in front of me to lean on when I say this. I'm just going to say this. This is my impression. I would think that our economy is more depressed than their economy. We're typically number 2 in the country in poverty, only behind Detroit.
So with that
Or
being
ahead of
said,
Detroit, rather.
But I will say that one other thing, Rochester is bigger than, I believe, than Canton, Akron. I think it's significantly
Well,
bigger.
Rochester's more than
It's only an
30
hour
minutes.
away.
Yeah, it's more, right.
A lot of people from Rochester go to Bills
They
games.
do. In fact,
Yeah.
the thing that, and that's a good point, they regionally draw much better than the
Right,
Browns
even
do.
like Syracuse, which
Yes.
is 2 hours from
It's-
Buffalo,
you know what?
is a pretty big city.
I'll make Mike mad when I say this.
Yeah.
But Bills fans remind me of this all the time.
Yeah.
We're New York's only football team.
That's correct.
And they're not wrong.
Yeah.
So with that being
Yeah.
said, this is a TikTok from John Clee Sports about Browns PSL possible sites prices for the upcoming stadium. Here it is.
So get ready for this. All right, so I just took a screenshot of some of these. This is one here. These seats, you can see they're midfield, between the 30s, rows 12 and up, general concessions. The ticket amount per year is $2,500, and the one-time PSL fee down here is $6,600 for the PSL. Oh, here's one. This is in the, if you can see, it's in the back end zone area, probably where you come in, maybe an entrance area. It's a safe standing position, so this is standing room only. In the upper level of the end zone, you get regular general concessions with this. And the annual ticket price is $1,750, and the one-time PSL is $1,800. I don't know if you could see those numbers or not, but I did the best I could getting these pictures. Here's another one. You can see you're sitting, this is right around the 50-yard line. Great seats here. It's a club seat, actually. Field level, 50-yard line. So these are primo seats. All-inclusive with premium liquor. What else we got? Concourse access to the field club, priority parking included. Annual ticket cost is $25,000, and the one-time PSL is $115,000. $115,000. This is definitely corporate. or maybe if you're really rich. So here's another one. This is a club seat. It's hard to see. These are around the corners, kind of field level, 25 to yard line down to the end zone. It's got premium liquor included, lower level club, priority parking. It's $5,500 for the annual ticket, and the PSL is $24,000. And the last one, there were more. They gave us like 10 different scenarios with 5 different pricing levels, so we had like 50 to look at. But so here's one. Premium seat. These are in the corner of the end zones, corner of the lower level, elevated food and beverage for purchase. It's a corner club, right to purchase park. Oh, you get the right to purchase parking. That's good.
That's crazy.
Ticket price $3,750 a season, and the one-time PSL is $11,000.
What? That's for a corner.
Now,
An end zone
there were a
corner.
bunch of other scenarios.
An end zone corner seat.
G, what do you make of those ticket
I
prices?
apologize for the whole last segment, not because somebody was right or wrong. I apologize because they got us up here arguing about which is the worst part of the Cleveland Browns, and they charging you for the right to park your car and the right to buy general admissions and concessions, and it's $11,000, bro.
And by the way, $650 million of tax money went into that.
Yes.
Let me tell
That's
you
exactly
something.
right. Don't forget that piece of it.
They ain't
Boondoggle.
They ain't raised the minimum wage in this state in 25, 30 years. Guys is still making $8.25. You still telling servers that you got to depend on the feelings and the kind will to pay your bills because they get paid $4 and some change. They still trying to tax your wages and tips. This is the wildest work I've ever seen in my life. You got tax dollars, and this is crazy. Who's paying for that?
Somebody.
Ultimately, you are.
No, I'm saying like it's.
Oh, I see. Who's going to buy it?
Who's going to buy them?
Yeah.
I mean, they'll get sold.
The people that the top 3% that own everything else in the world. Like, this is crazy.
That's the top 1%.
You know, when they built the new stadium,
Yeah.
and I didn't make this wasn't a knee jerk. I went to 4 or 5 games before I made this assumption.
Yeah.
I went to the new stadium and I said, wow, the vibe of Municipal is dead forever. And I understand we're in a new era of sports. You got to pay for these beautiful buildings somehow.
Yeah.
But when I say the vibe, what I meant was the energy of the crowd. I love going to Browns games. There is still energy. But when I compare that energy to 80s old Municipal Stadium energy, it doesn't even come close. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
And I think the reason it doesn't is because back then, the welder that went to the docks after the game to work an extra shift to pay for his tickets was able to go. But, and that was their entertainment for the week.
Jay, unfortunately, they don't care about those people.
They do not care.
They don't care.
And it's not just the Browns. It's
every team.
Sports.
They don't care about those people.
Sports. They now, to answer your question, G, it is the 3%, the upper 3% of wage earners, of people and their total worth, their net worth. Those are going to be the people that can plunk down that kind of money. I just don't know, guys, if there's 70,000 of them in the greater Cleveland area that will do it. I don't know.
I don't know anybody in my life that would pay any of those prices.
Not for this product, man.
Not for this product.
Yeah, no.
In Buffalo, if we had the Bills,
I'm telling you right now,
I'd be excited. I'd say, I want to be a part of that.
So my wife and I are on the wait list for the Bills season tickets.
Oh, that's right. You're a Bills guy.
Yeah.
I forgot.
My son loves them.
Yeah.
We love them. We go back a couple
How long
games a
is
year.
that list? Did they tell you or no?
It's
Some teams won't tell you.
I'm trying to pull some strings so I can see if I can get up the list.
Yeah.
In fact, I just this morning
You
sent
should
a
be
text.
able to. A former player.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't ever try to be like I expect something. We'll see.
What is the drive from here? About 2.5, 3?
From Cleveland? It's like 2.5.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, it's very doable.
And by the way, good for you too, man.
Yeah.
Like I like the you got somebody you can root for. You play for them.
Yeah.
You do it the right way.
Yeah.
Good fans. Like at least you don't have to be dealing with this jargon and nonsense with the Browns. You at least get your kids can watch something that they
You've got that option.
respectable.
Thanks for not raising them a Browns fan. It's
I
my
let
big
them.
regret as a parent.
I let them pick, and they chose the Bills.
Yeah, but you didn't push them towards the Browns. I did.
No, I mean,
I pushed Corey towards the Browns. It's my biggest mistake I've ever made as a parent.
I don't root against the Browns. I mean, I root for the Browns. as an ex-player, it's just different, I think, in terms of your fandom. Like, I'm not even like a diehard Ohio State fan. I want my team to do well,
right?
But I don't live and die with sports teams.
Yeah.
The one team I actually do live and die with is probably the Cavaliers. The sport I didn't play.
Yeah, right.
That's
you know
funny.
what I mean? Which is
but you're a huge basketball fan.
Yeah.
In 2015, I got on the wait list to be a Cubs season ticket holder.
Yeah, you still on it?
Well, because I at the time I was going one or two times a year, and then I was like, well, I'll sell the rest of the tickets to make a ton of money.
Sure.
Right? Then I was way down the list, but after COVID, a lot of people blah, blah, blah. So they called me in 21 or 22, and at that point I was like, I don't think I'm going to go as much. I don't think I'm going to go that often. So I decided not to do it. But
do you wish you would have stayed on it?
No, although the team's getting good again, but who knows? Like, the team had been bad there for a few years. But still, that factors in. And that's in a big market like Chicago. You talk about, you referenced Yankee Stadium the other day, Jay. And I can tell you this, that, even though I hate the Yankees, I've been to a lot of Yankee games in my life because I like going to see live baseball. When I was a kid, it was the Mets and Yankees. That was really the only option. I wasn't traveling around the country going to baseball games. My family couldn't afford that. So, once in a while, we'd go to games, sit in the bleachers and whatever. Yankee games in the old stadium was an unbelievable experience.
I love it.
And again, this is coming from someone who grew up, even though in New York, I hated the Yankees, despised them. But I love going to games.
Cathedral-like experience.
Yes, it was an unbelievable experience going to Yankee Stadium. And now I haven't gone as much in the new stadium, but when I've been there, it does not have the feel. No. The bleachers are still energetic, but the rest of the stadium's not.
It's all corporate.
Yes.
When you look around, and the pricing for the dugouts and behind home plate seats are so high that even the corporations in New York have said we're good. We're going to pass.
So I don't know. I mean, these prices seem crazy.
I mean, this is
obviously there are some companies that will buy some of those. That's only a company or a couple of extremely even if you make a really good living.
Yeah.
You're not spending $100,000 on a PSL.
No, and then what was the cost for the season tickets then? He said it
for that one.
Yeah,
Steve, take ticket 3, please. And mind you, this is one ticket.
Yes, one day, which nobody gets one ticket.
On Monday, nobody's going to say, give me one.
What you mean, one?
So a 50-yard, that's an extreme. Okay, that's a corporate thing, I guess.
But to do
but you're paying, essentially, you got to have at least 2.
Quick math on that, though, to get 2, because you're not going to have one.
230.
230 plus 50 is 280,000.
Yeah, right. So just for 1 year.
Just to get in.
Now the 115 is only one time or the whatever.
Yeah, but it's 50
but
a
still,
year.
that's 51,000 a year.
Can somebody explain to me what that 115 goes towards?
The right to buy the ticket.
I mean, that's crazy.
It's nuts.
It's crazy.
Just
PSLs, by the way.
Yes.
For anyone who's unfamiliar,
to build his playground.
The PSL gives you rights to that ticket for 30 years.
Right.
That's it.
Oh, it's not even for your whole life.
No, it's not. No.
30 years.
And I'm not sure if this is the case or not. Is it transferable? If you die, do you lose it?
I don't know the answer.
Or can you will it to children?
This is,
and that's a big deal.
I'm sorry, this is not ethical. This isn't even me and Dustin talk about it. I love gym shoes, and I told Dustin the other day. I said, man, when the gym shoe price get over a certain amount, even if I got the money,
you're out.
I just don't.
Principle.
It's the principle of it. I cannot walk down the street and see people homeless and knowing I just spent that amount of money on a pair of shoes that I'm gonna wear once or twice. Even if I got it, I just can't. The fact that that's $115,000, $200,000, $300,000 to sit in a seat.
And watch this.
And watch. That's to me. I usually I'm not a.
You're a masochist if you do that.
Yeah.
You like self-punishment.
I just can't. I couldn't sit there literally thinking about this is a house.
Here's what's crazy.
A home.
Even worse than that, because those seats, even in this stadium, are extremely expensive, right? The seats But Mike, bring up the standing room only one.
Right.
Mike, can you bring that up?
Standing room only right here. It was a $1,750 total ticket and a one-time PSL.
So you got to pay
to stand up.
$1,750 for one ticket to stand.
$3,500.
$3,500 the first year
Per person.
Per person.
$7,000.
And then.
So if a couple, I don't know anybody. Does anybody know someone that has one season ticket?
So
they'd be like, "Hey, what'd you spend to get in?" sir.
So
My
it's
mic.
$7,000 for the first year, and then $3,600 for every other year to stand in the end.
And do it this way too, Bull. Do it this way. Per game, you're at about $900 a ticket.
Right.
With a couple, if you do that by a couple.
Right. And then after that, it goes down to like $500.
I won't go to a concert. I've got a limit,
crazy.
to your point.
Yeah, I got a limit, bro.
I can write the check. I can do it.
I ain't doing that.
I have a limit.
Oh, we
to
know,
go
Jay.
See a
We
live
know, Jay. We know.
Yeah, but it's not going to hurt me.
How about that flex, huh?
But
I can write the check. We know.
But
that boy
I won't write the check. I think the most I've ever paid to go to a concert was $300.
Really?
I would never do that again.
I don't think I've ever spent more than $300 on a ticket.
Because at the end of the night, when I was asked, was it worth it?
You said no.
I wasn't sure it was.
I spent, I went to.
I'd rather go to the Marble Room.
I paid for tickets. I paid for tickets to Game 4 and Game 5 of the World Series at Wrigley Field. It cost me, I think, $400 for 2 tickets
and
for 2 days.
And that's an experience you would do it once.
Yes, right.
Now, Bull, after they
that's the most I would spend.
After they lose to Cincinnati in Week 1, and you dropped to go to the game between you and Wifey $900.
Yeah.
You're going to do it again next Sunday to watch them get boat raced by the Saints.
Right. And that's standing.
And you're going to do that 8 or 9 times a year, and you're standing.
Standing.
Oh, how fun is it going to be standing? Oh my.
All right, guys, we got Ross Tucker in the queue, so let's.
That's wild work.
The wildest I've seen.
Let's bring Ross in. I gave him a little background on the first topic of the day, so he's ready for the war zone he's about to enter. But we're going to bring in Ross here after a quick word from FanDuel. Guys, the NFL season is halfway through. The NBA season is officially underway, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers on FanDuel can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if they win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download the FanDuel app today and get things started. Ross, welcome to the Thunderdome, my friend. It has been a hot back and forth morning here, and I'm very curious to see where you fall on our first topic, which was, is the Browns' bigger issue a coaching problem or a lack of talent problem?
Oh, good, because I thought I was going to ask about a marble room, which I don't even know what that is, or concert tickets. I heard you guys talking about that. I was like, man,
Ross,
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
When you come with CBS the next time, call me.
Or Westwood One.
We're gonna get you into the marble room, and you will never forget it ever again.
It's a game changer.
It is. It's a 6-star. That's how I explain it.
It's unlike anything Cleveland's ever had.
And it's
what is it? A restaurant?
It's a restaurant.
Steakhouse.
He's got to make sure with Marble Room. Wait,
hold on.
What goes on in the Marble Room?
Hold on. I know this is internet.
Ross,
the Marble Room. That sounds crazy.
Ross,
he was thinking he had to ask.
I mean, you're an offensive lineman. You got to like steak, right?
Of course. Yeah. Listen, I love a good steakhouse. We usually try to go out on Friday nights, whatever city we're in. I actually don't remember. Last year we did that Ravens at Browns game that Jameis came back and won, which was awesome. Yeah. I can't remember where we went. It was good. It wasn't the Marble Room, but it was good. So
you're going to the Marble Room. You call me. Okay. I'll make sure you get a table. Not that you need help, and then I want a full report because you'll never forget this restaurant.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Wonderful.
All right.
Okay.
So what do you think is the bigger problem? Is it the coaching or is it the talent?
No, it's the talent. Yeah, I mean, look, they have their bottom 5, maybe bottom 3 at by far the most important position in the sport, which is quarterback. We all know that. That's been the case for the Browns for the last couple years. And then their bottom 5, maybe bottom 3 at wide receiver. Guys, it's a passing league. That's a bad combo, okay? That's a bad combo. And then to make matters worse, the offensive line, which used to be top 5 and gave them a chance, and which is why they won a playoff game in 2020, and which is why they were still pretty good a couple years ago. The offensive line is not even in the top 10 anymore. I don't even know if they're in the top half of the league. I haven't written it down, but they're not in the top half of the league more than likely. So, and then, by the way, maybe your best position groups, running back and tight end, 3 of those 4 guys are rookies that get the snaps at those positions. Just not a good position to be in. I mean, it's why their offense isn't good, and their defense is pretty good. So that's the issue. The goal is that by next year, they know who their quarterback is, whether it's one of these guys on the roster now or whoever they draft next year, and that they are on the ascent at that position. Really, really hard to even be above 500 when you're bottom 2 or 3 at that position.
So Ross, for all the angry fans that we hear you talk about the talent, and I agree, the talent has been trash. I've been yelling and screaming at the top of my lungs for 3 years about it. But we say, well, why is it a foregone conclusion that when we ask people, do you think the Browns will make any changes in the front office? Everyone says no. If they're responsible for taking those players and missing and doing things like that, why is it that they can have those deficiencies at receiver and not have talent in the offensive line, and they still are welcome with open arms to come on back in?
I think it's a fair question. Listen, everything stems from the fact that they made a huge bet on Deshaun Watson, and it failed. I mean, there's no way around it. Now, I think what is interesting, and I'm sure you guys talk about it, is to go through some of the other moves they've made. You know, with a guy like Jerry Jeudy, it's okay, you know, maybe he's not worth this, but he's also the best we have, and they haven't drafted as well at that position. It's funny because, you know, I would think that Andrew Berry would have been on the hot seat before this draft class. You know, it's almost like he had the excellent draft class just in the nick of time, right? And maybe that was the case with Stefanski in 2023 with the run at the end of the year with Flacco and making the playoffs. You know, maybe Stefanski would have been out after that, but just when he needed to, he was able to rally and get that team to the playoffs. It feels like Barry had a great draft right when he needed it, which probably buys him another year.
Ross, let's talk about the quarterback situation. It seems like, in my opinion, I think it's a consensus here, Dillon Gabriel's gotten worse each game. I know it's only 4 games, but it's not like he's a first-round pick that, you know, is owed a season long of playing. I'm personally ready to see Shedeur Sanders play, and this whole idea that he's not ready, I don't trust the Browns to evaluate whether he's ready or not. I mean, even if he's not ready, who cares? Let's see it. Let's see what he's got now. What do you say to that?
Well, based on everybody I've talked to, it doesn't sound like he's ready. But guess what? I don't think he's going to be ready this whole year. And guess what? He's going to play. I would be very surprised if he doesn't play. The only way he doesn't play is if Gabriel really starts to play well, which, you know, that'd be great for Cleveland if that happened. But they have 9 more games left. And if it keeps trending the way you think it is, Bull, or if Gabriel has some of the terrible turnovers like he did on Sunday in New England, then it will go to Shedeur. You know, it's kind of like the same question when you guys are asking me, when should they go from Flacco to Dillon Gabriel? It's like, I don't know, but I think we'll kind of know when we see it. I think that's the case with Gabriel. Now, I'm a little surprised to hear you say worse every week, and you felt that way in the game against the Dolphins. We could have that discussion. But I do think I would give Gabriel at least a couple more games. I mean, you've given Gabriel 4 games, right? So you think you should give Shedeur 9 games? They obviously like Gabriel more. They took him in the 3rd round for a reason. They didn't even draft Shedeur until the 5th round. It wouldn't really make a lot of sense to me unless Gabriel was bad for Shedeur Sanders to get more games than Gabriel. That, to me, would be illogical. I mean, at that point, then you're thinking, well, then why did you draft Gabriel in the 3rd round if you want to give Shedeur Sanders more games than him? So we'll see. I mean, coming out of the bye, if Gabriel is really bad or has back-to-back bad games, I think they probably will make the move. But I wouldn't make the move after only 4 games for a rookie. And in my opinion, you know, the first game where I really thought he played poorly.
Wouldn't you say, though, like, isn't it possible, and maybe this is crazy, but that they realized what most of us thought to begin with, that drafting Dillon Gabriel was a huge mistake in the 3rd round? Maybe they realized that middle of the season? Or is that not
I don't think they realized that yet, no. Okay. And I think that you guys are being impatient, in all sincerity. I mean, look, on Sunday, I'm doing my third Tennessee Titans game this year, okay? So they played the Chargers. So I've watched a lot of Cam Ward, and Cam Ward definitely has more physical ability than Dylan Gabriel. But if Dylan Gabriel had been a first-round pick, you guys would chalk up the Patriots game to, okay, Patriots are good, and he got a little greedy with a couple of those throws, but he hasn't done that a lot. We still believe in him, which is how Titans fans feel about Cam Ward, even though they have not been good at all. But because he's a third-round pick, because he wasn't really who you guys wanted in the third round, you're a lot more likely to move on from him. And I get that. That's natural. But give him the bye. I would say give him a couple more games. If he shows improvement, leave him in there. If he's getting worse, then you probably put Shedeur in. And at that point, Shedeur would still get, 7 games? I mean, that's at that point, if they had 6 for Gabriel, 7 for Shedeur, I think you feel pretty good about where those guys are at. And obviously, pending, whether they keep getting better or worse or whatever.
Ross, I never thought I'd say this or even ask the question, but watching what we're watching every Sunday makes me think that there is a chance that Deshaun Watson could play again for the Browns. Yeah. What say you?
I don't think so. When? This year?
Maybe. If he's healthy, if he's cleared.
No, you know why? You know why they're not going to do that? They don't want. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if it's fully guaranteed. I was going to say they don't want to do that because they don't want to get hurt. But I guess if they're on the hook for it anyway, you might as well put them out there. I doubt it, Dustin. But
I always doubted
it's not outside the realm of possibility. The issue with that is, and this is a funny thing to say, but it's true. Let's say they gave Gabriel another game or two, then Shedeur gets 3 or 4, and then they would put Watson in there. What happens if Watson really plays well?
Yeah, exactly.
What happens if Watson really plays at a high level? Then are you going into 2026 with Deshaun Watson as your quarterback? I mean, you want to talk about season ticket sales going
get
down.
Paid a lot of money,
that would
Ross.
not go well.
Wouldn't that be the biggest upset story of all time?
Well, Ross, one of the things that's funny about that is I can't remember a time when an owner, but this is the Browns, they do a first on a lot of different things, but I can't remember a time when I heard an owner say of a player still on the team, still owed about $150 million and still under contract for multiple seasons. I can't remember when an owner came out publicly and said, yeah, that was a pretty big mistake. That was on me.
Well, the Jets just did it last week. He's not owed as much money. But the Jets did the same thing with Justin Fields, and then he played the best game of his season.
Yeah, but I mean, I just can't imagine that after Haslam publicly admits it was a mistake and it's on him, they're
not putting him back out there.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
They're not putting him back out there, Dustin. That would really surprise me. And the Jets thing, I mean, to have a guy as your starting quarterback and say he can't complete a pass is just so you guys know, every time you think it's bad in Cleveland, and I know it's not good, there are worse franchises out there right now. I mean, think about what it's been like the last 10 years for the Jets. Think about the last 4 years, I think, for the Titans or the Saints. The Browns, I do power rankings every week. They're not even in the bottom 5, which I know is probably stunning for you guys. But I don't think the Browns are in the bottom 5 of my power rankings. I'd have to check.
Ross, we have not sniffed the division. There's only 3 other teams in the division. We haven't won it since '89.
The Browns haven't been to a championship game in over 30 years. Those teams have. Or the Jets have.
Part of the problem is you guys are in a... Well, part of the problem is you guys are in a really good division, and unfortunately, you haven't. This is the year this would have been the year to try to capture it, which is not going to happen. But with the Lamar injury and the Steelers really aren't that great, I mean, this would have been a good year. In fairness, I mean, listen, I know you want to win the division, and I know you want to go to the conference championship game. I get that, but they won a road playoff game in Pittsburgh, and if my boy from my hometown, Chad Henne, doesn't have that scramble, they probably are in the conference championship game, which would have been amazing a few years ago. But I get it. Listen, there's nothing I can say that's going to make you guys
Feel
be
good.
happy about the Browns. I mean, if you brought me on here to make everybody happy about the Browns, you're giving me a really tough. I'm not getting paid enough for that.
It's an impossible job. Ross, let me ask you this. I think one of the problems right now, and there are many, how do you evaluate talent at quarterback when your wide receiver core is ranked 32nd in speed, 32nd in separation created, and leads the league in drops? And you have an offensive line that is, as you pointed out, well beyond its prime and among probably in the lower 10 in the league at least. Like, how do you evaluate anybody in that environment?
Well, it makes it difficult. What you try to do is just isolate the quarterback position. So what does that mean? That means you know what the quarterback is supposed to do on every play. How efficiently is he doing it? You know where the ball is supposed to go against that coverage, against that defense, and maybe the receiver's not that open, but that's still where you want the ball to go. Does he go where the ball should go? Does he put the ball in timing, on time, anticipation, where it's supposed to go accurately? Those are the things you try to do. It's not easy. But I'll also tell you this, like, there's other quarterbacks out there that are just getting their brains bashed in. And I think Stefanski's done a good job of not putting, his quarterbacks, in particular Gabriel, in that position where they're just getting hammered 30 times a game. And that does give them an opportunity to succeed. I personally think when Shedeur gets out there that it'll be worse, and it'll look a lot worse, but that remains to be seen. I think, Gabriel has done a pretty good job of getting the ball out of his hands on time. I don't think that'll happen with Shedeur, and I think it'll likely be real ugly in terms of the sack numbers, how many times Shedeur gets hit. I mean, if you guys think it's a tough watch now, I would say strap in for about a month from now.
Ross, it's been an interesting year in college football. We thought we had all these quarterbacks that were going to be these top draft picks and prospects and all this stuff, and yet it really is kind of like flipped upside down with some of the guys we thought were going to be really good. If you're the Browns, are you sitting here panicking, worrying that they're not going to be able to find a quarterback next year in the draft, or will there be somebody that comes out of the woodwork?
I don't think panicking or worrying is the right word, but I would say disappointment. I think if you're the Browns, you wanted as many of these guys to elevate themselves and show that they're top 10 players as possible, right? The Drew Allers, the Nussmeyers, even Arch Manning, even if he wasn't going to turn pro. You want as many of these guys, Lenoris Sellers from South Carolina, to look like big-time quarterbacks as possible. So that's good for you. Even if you have the third pick in the draft or the fourth, and maybe you don't want to have to trade up, with the Titans to get the number 1 overall pick. That hasn't happened. The flip side I would say is there are some other guys, the Simpson kid at Alabama, Dante Moore at Oregon, Mendoza at Indiana, that have played at a really high level. What I think is interesting there, though, is it's like, okay, these guys kind of came out of nowhere to play at this high of a level. Are they really this good? Or if they went back to school like Aller and Nussmeier and Sellers and the other guys did, would they look bad the next year too? You don't really know that. You have to go by what they're showing you this year. And these guys are going to get a chance to play in some really big games, some playoff games. And I do think, by January, there will be a guy or two that we're all saying, hey, that's the guy. Maybe kind of like Cam Ward last year and what he did at Miami. And then in the pre-draft process, everybody I talked to said it was very clear that Ward was the best prospect they thought. Maybe they can be that guy. The other thing I would tell you is that even if they're not thought of as that guy, I think Jackson Dart can play. I think the Giants have their quarterback for the next few years. I think Jackson Dart was a find for them. So even if these guys haven't become, Dustin, what we thought, they would be, that doesn't mean that they can't still play at a high level and be worthy of taking. Maybe you just don't have to take them with that top 5 pick.
Ross, I'm curious. The way Stefanski and Barry are operating, the way the Browns are operating, makes it feel like they intend to be here next year. Trade away veterans. But if things don't get better on the field, can Stefanski survive this? They went 3-14 last year. They're 2-6 now. They're 5-20 in their last 25 games. Is this sustainable? And can he survive if things on the field don't get better?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, and I do think fan sentiment does play a part in it, especially when they have a new stadium coming and everything that goes along with that. I would say, though, I think the franchises that make decisions based on tickets or fan sentiment, that's a bad cycle that you don't want to be on. Where think about the Titans. They fire the head coach or GM or get a new quarterback every year now. I mean, it's like 5 years in a row. They're on that cycle of blame, cycle of failure. I don't know that you want to do that. My concern, if I'm a Browns fan, about getting rid of Stefanski would be that you then become the Tennessee Titans, who are looking at Mike Vrabel who as the head coach of the 6-2 New England Patriots right now. And that, I do think Stefanski's a good coach. I know some of you guys disagree, whatever. And I think that if you let go of Stefanski, which is fine, I mean, good coaches get let go of all the time. I do believe he'll go somewhere else with a more stable quarterback situation and have really good success. And the likelihood is that you'll hire a coach that's not as good as him. Now, maybe that's worth it. A lot of times fans just want change for change's sake. Fans just want something different. Totally respect it, understand it. I do a lot of sports talk radio in Philadelphia. I get that. But if you're the owner, you really need to try to look at the bigger picture. There's a reason why he was 2-time coach of the year. He didn't just forget how to coach. And I think he's still better than a lot of the other coaches that are out there. And you can see some of it with the record, some of it with what they've done. And so, are you really better off next year with some coordinator that's never done it before, that's an unknown, or are you better off with Stefanski? I would argue Stefanski. We'll see what Haslam does at the end of the year.
Last thing, 30 seconds. Lane Kiffin, will he do well in the NFL if he's given another opportunity? If you're the Browns, would you throw a bunch of money at him?
No.
No and no. I would not throw a bunch of money at Lane Kiffin. I would not think that he would do well in the NFL. I don't know that style would go over real well. And listen, he didn't make the college football playoff last year with a first-round pick quarterback and a really good roster. So I think this Lane Kiffin stuff, I know Ole Miss is better than they've been, but they also had a first-round quarterback the last couple of years, weren't able to get in the college football playoff. I would not throw a lot of money at Lane Kiffin, that's for sure.
Ross, I want Zach Taylor out in Cincinnati, too. Get him out, Ross. He stinks.
Well, I can see that after the loss to the Jets, Bull, but their defense is just absolutely atrocious. I mean, he pulled the lever of firing Anarumo and bringing in Al Golden. Speaking of bringing in a college coach as the sought-after guy, and it's been an abject failure. I mean, if you give up 500 yards to this Jets offense, the same week the owner says we can't complete a pass, I mean, it's bad in Cincinnati, boys.
And without Garrett Wilson, it was just incredible. All right, thanks.
Do we want to ask him about the Broncos trade?
No,
we know the answer.
Let him go.
We know the answer.
Yeah.
Let him go.
Yeah, we know the answer.
All right, Ross, we appreciate
Let me go. I can't make you feel better, okay? I'm not a miracle.
We're letting you go.
Yeah. All right, Ross. We'll talk to you
See
later.
you, Ross.
Thanks, Ross.
No one can make us feel better about our lot.
I should have asked him, should the Browns drafted Jackson Dart?
Yes.
He would have taken yes, 100%.
So real quick on the Jackson Dart thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Stefanski go down to his
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Stefanski was specifically...
He was there.
Yep.
Okay.
By himself. He was at the hotel, ate food with him, everything.
That's what I thought.
Up close and personal.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, and made the decision that he's
He
not
wasn't it.
I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
I keep hearing that a lot of people have said, the Deshaun Watson trade killed everything, and that's mostly true. However, if the let's say Jackson Dart is the next good quarterback. We don't know that yet. It's too early to say.
Yeah.
He's shown some good things. Ross think he is going to be the next good quarterback.
Right.
Well, if the Browns had drafted Jackson Dart and he had shown those same things he had, not like the Giants have been a good organization recently.
No.
And their best player, their best receiver's hurt. So it's not like he's helping the situation. And now their second best player, Scadaboo's hurt for the year. But yet, Dart showed like he may be the guy. Okay, well, even with the Deshaun Watson trade, if Dart was here and we felt the same way the Giants fans do, like I think we got the guy, it'd be a totally different story right now.
It would be, but he's not, and so that's a big if.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like even with the Deshaun Watson trade, if you had gotten it right,
yeah, but Bull,
you could have moved out of it.
To me, the pain that we've had to go through the last 3.5 years, after we made that trade. That's not erased if we get Jackson Dart.
No, it's not erased, but it gets you headed in the right direction sooner.
You're right. Maybe it set you back 5 years instead of 8 or 10.
You could have come back from it quicker.
You could have helped yourself.
Yes, and you haven't been able to do that.
And Barry and all of the powers that be looked at all the Giants didn't take him with their first pick.
No, and again, we don't know. The jury's still out on Jackson Dart, obviously.
It is,
but he's showing some stuff. But he's showing signs.
Something in Jackson Dart that we have not yet seen in Dylan Gabriel.
Of course,
now, granted, he was a first-round pick compared to a third-round pick.
Dylan, see, we're not going to put them in the same
It's interesting
category.
that Ross, Ross does have the pragmatic view, and that's guys, you're being impatient. Let's wait and see. I like that he said, and this might be why Stefanski was so quick to say, no, I'm not making the change coming into the bye. Let's see what Dylan Gabriel looks like after he gets the bye week and a little time to clear his head from what's happened. And if he looks equally bad after the bye, I think we are a step closer to going to Shedeur Sanders, even though Ross thinks it's going to be a dumpster fire.
Ain't no step. Listen, he can look bad against the Jets. Let him come out here and look trash against the Jets. Come on, man. By the way.
No, what I'm saying is, though, if there's a team for him to look – I think the reason that Stefanski is doing this is he's saying, I'm not going to sit my guy when I've got a week to get ready.
There it is.
For a team.
But
there it is.
That makes perfect sense, though.
That's his. I've never said that. Look, that's his dude. He's going to give him
unequivocally his guy.
He's going to give him. Listen, that's like saying bench your son. He's not. I'm not benching my son, and I'm the coach.
Of course you're not.
We're going to work on it. So he's going to give him every opportunity. And what I'm saying,
especially this one.
This one. Guess what? I'm going to make this statement. Now, this might be crazy, but you tell me what you think.
You make a lot of statements that could be in that category.
Yeah, they could be
loud work.
Loud.
Love you, brother.
Yeah, we be doing a lot.
Wild work?
Yeah, wildest.
Wild work. Here it comes.
I don't think Kevin Stefanski is going to willingly go to Shedeur Sanders ever.
I don't think so either. I said that Monday. The owner's going to tell him.
Injury or owner.
Injury or owner.
It's that. Yeah, it's that. He'll get to a point where they're going to say, "We done made the decision.
We want to see him."
And that's what.
Imagine they try to play Bailey Zappi.
Oh my!
There'll be a riot.
I literally think that they stopped that decision too because it looked like Bailey Zappi was going to play. Yeah. And they was like, nah.
Yeah, at this point, you don't want to win games. At this point, you want a high draft pick. That's it. And Bailey Zappi probably does give them the best chance to win games, and that's not saying much. But he's an experienced NFL quarterback. He probably gives them the best chance to win games.
Remember when I got yelled at for saying that?
I remember.
It's true.
Hold on. I remember when Bailey Zappi was here and he was throwing.
We know he stinks. We don't know what you're doing.
I just saw Bailey Zappi throw pick sixes against the Baltimore Ravens in a Cleveland Browns jersey. I know he's trash.
I know, but listen, we got three guys. Can this be true? We got 3 guys that are trash. Doesn't one of them have to be the best?
Well,
and if you use conventional wisdom, who probably, forget developing for the future, who, if you had to win against the Jets and you can start any of the 3, who are you starting?
Shedeur Sanders.
For the win.
Shedeur Sanders.
Not to see if these.
No.
This is a game
Shedeur
for
Sanders.
your life.
I'm starting Zappy right now.
I am too.
I'm not starting Zappy.
That strikes funny because people are like, but he's not our quarterback of the future. No, I didn't say that. I said you've got one game to win for your life. You gonna put someone out there that you've never seen before?
Hey, listen, they put somebody out there I didn't see before in Dylan Gabriel.
It's one game for your life. I wouldn't put Dylan Gabriel out
Do you
there
guys
either.
remember, and this is
And I've seen him.
Imagine it comes down to this choice for your life.
Oh, my God.
it's a terrible decision.
I think I would go with Shedeur Sanders. I think I would.
One game for your life.
Begrudgingly,
Even after hearing Ross say
I
what he
just-
said.
I saw what I saw.
Where?
I saw Dylan Gabriel throw the ball to a nobody in the corner.
I know,
for
but I
safety.
saw-
You know two of them versus the unknown, and if you don't like what you know,
Yeah,
then maybe the
so
unknown's better.
that's Russian roulette. Like, just spin it and hope. Like, at that point,
I'm not
I
sure
have
how
to
much
have
Bailey Zappi
someone that I
either,
know has had a little bit of success in the NFL
Has
because it's
he?
for my
I mean,
life.
He's won a game.
So
he's
is
won
PJ
multiple
Walker.
games.
I mean, I'm not.
Bailey-
but not-
Eventually, I
I'd
got.
probably trust PJ Walker more too.
I might too. That's how bad
I don't
things
know.
are.
This is why we look insane. We've seen Bailey Zappi play in the Browns uniform. He was not good.
I'd rather.
No, but again, he's the most experienced of the three.
But it looks like this is guys. It looks like we'll take anybody except for Shedeur Sanders. Anybody.
If one game for my life, I would.
So, okay.
Yes.
So you
but
said
we've got
Huntley-
other things to decide. We've got to decide is Shedeur him?
No,
Can he play?
I would choose Shedeur Sanders.
One
This is
game
a
for your
crazy
life.
conversation, but I would choose.
I mean, for your
Hey,
life. I mean, this is wild.
Real quick before we
never
move on,
know.
'cause we do
I'm
have to
with you,
talk some
Dustin.
Cavs.
That is crazy.
Steve, take the schedule graphic full here.
Yeah.
For the sake of just conversation, we know Dylan's going to start against the Jets, so that's week 10.
Yes.
After the bye. This is the schedule following the Jets game. They're back home against the Ravens, in Vegas, home against the Niners, home against the Titans, and then at the Bears. Do you think if a quarterback change, whether it's from Gabriel to Zappi or Gabriel to Sanders, whatever that may be, do you think it happens during this 5-game slate, or does it happen in the backstretch where they have their final 3 games, which is against Buffalo, the Steelers, and then
that would be-
Cincinnati?
Oh my God! Yeah, don't put him out there against the Bills. If you put him out there against the Bills and the Steelers, good luck.
You got it. I would make the change way before that, but
Yeah,
who
if you're
knows
going
what
to make the
happens.
change, can you put that up again? If you're going to, if Dylan looks as bad as he has against the Jets, I'm automatically thinking, okay, I got to do something, and I'm not making a change to Bailey Zappi. I won't.
That's crazy.
Even though
Yeah.
one game, gun to my head, you got to win this game or you're dead. That's easy. Give me Bailey Zappi, but I don't want to put him out there against because by then the Ravens will have Lamar Jackson. If
Lamar's
I'm being,
playing on
if
Thursday.
I'm
the
being
Ravens'
honest,
defense stinks.
I'm putting him out there. I know, but it's going to be like the Ravens are going to score 35 points.
I don't care about the schedule. To me, I would
cares
play
about the
Shedeur
schedule?
Sanders
Well, you want
now.
him to look good.
Nah, he
Well,
won't.
I just want him out
Okay,
there.
if that's the case, put him out there against the Niners.
I wanted to put him out
Fine,
there.
the Niners aren't any good.
I don't want him out there against the
Listen,
Niners.
guys.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you, after this season, are you guys all done with Shedeur if he plays bad?
Well, that's a big if. I mean, we got to see what he looks like.
If they draft a quarterback, yeah, the next
Yeah,
guy.
if they draft a quarterback, I think it's safe to say that both of these guys probably aren't long for their time here.
I don't know, man.
Now, they have
If
3-year
you draft
contracts.
a quarterback in the 5th round, that is a straight developmental guy.
It is 100%.
So,
The Eagles cut McCord already, though. Like,
so the point is,
Yeah, and it's, other teams have done that too.
I don't know. I mean, to me, a 5th round quarterback is a developmental guy that you're trying to see if he's got something.
I think it
and
depends
can
what it looks
learn
like, Dustin.
Because like if you just throw the guy out there when the team's pretty much already tanked the season,
Yeah.
they're already looking at Cancun, 1-2-3 Cancun. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a chance that Shedeur could get ruined this year.
It's super
that risk.
I think the conversation is borderline. It gets when we start talking about that is disingenuous because they've never even contemplated giving him an opportunity to do anything.
You know, I know he prefaced it by saying if he plays him, doesn't look good.
I mean, but he hasn't. They haven't given him reps ever.
What did McCord get before he got whacked?
He didn't get. He hasn't.
Nothing.
Even as a backup quarterback,
Saw
Jay,
him enough in practice to say he's not it.
Even in the backup quarterback, he still is like, yeah, we're not giving him first team reps. He didn't get first team reps in OTAs. He didn't get so the thought process is if you want to give somebody an equal opportunity or even a shot to even succeed, he said he was into developing everybody. It would be actually a situation where you give him reps, you develop him, you see him play. But he hasn't gotten reps.
Under normal
at
circumstances,
any time.
you're right. But I think I can't remember the reporter that asked him, but it was one of the beat guys put Stefanski's feet to the fire.
it was Mary Kay.
I thought it was a guy, but maybe it was Mary Kay. Maybe you're not sure the question that I'm going to get to, but the question was, shouldn't Shedeur be getting reps? And he said, under normal circumstances, the backup quarterback.
That was last week. It was Scott Petrak.
Yeah, it was Petrak. He said, no, because I've got another young quarterback. So if I give anybody else reps, I'm stealing reps from my starting quarterback who's a rookie who needs all the reps he can
So that
get.
means he's not a priority, right?
He is not.
Okay.
But I don't think they've made any bone. They have not.
Okay.
They're not giving the illusion that he is a priority.
Oh.
He'll become a priority when he plays.
So think about it.
Just like DTR.
So think about it. So one quarterback has received reps since day one he got here.
Yeah, the guy they drafted higher.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Much higher.
Much higher. I get it. But here's the thing. In that case, why is he your backup quarterback then?
Well, someone's got to be.
No, they didn't. They could have kept Joe Flacco to do that.
Well, I think we all know why. They took him as a developmental guy.
And if he's not ready, why is he the backup then?
Well,
That's true. Bailey Zappi could be the backup.
Why didn't Bailey Zappi be the backup?
Well, I think we kind of parsed that out when the decision was being made. We all said Bailey Zappi was going to be the backup.
And what happened?
I think the owner picked up the phone and he goes, "Oh no, I want my guy."
All right, well,
that's what I think.
Well, I'm just asking from Jump Street because
Can you believe what we're arguing over?
Why wouldn't we argue?
No, I know. But just think about how crazy it is that we're arguing over Gabriel, Shedeur, and Zappi.
Well, no, that's what we are.
Until the Browns have a quarterback, we got to keep arguing about quarterback.
But I remember having these conversations 10 years ago.
Yeah,
arguing
three
over
different guys.
Kessler versus Kaiser versus Hogan.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
It's the same damn thing.
Same exact thing.
Every year,
Which
it's
is
bad
why I
quarterbacks.
said that,
We're arguing over who's worse.
The definition of insanity is when you keep
I'm
doing
losing
the
my
same
mind.
thing and expect
I
different
need
results.
I need a straitjacket.
I do too. That's where I am.
Well, let's talk a little.
I watched
Cavs
Sunday's
then
game
and calm
passively.
everyone down.
I wasn't like rooting. I'm like, I knew what the result was going to be.
I've always said it.
That's what I'm saying.
And I tell people, the frustration is the Cleveland Browns told us that it was a competition. The Cleveland Browns told you that Kenny Pickett, they went and got him. They said he was the guy. They told you Flacco was the guy. They said that Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders were both going to play. They told us that. They didn't have to come out and say that. The organization had a press conference.
They lie to us all the time, G.
But I'm saying,
when their lips are moving, they're they're not being honest.
But our job is to have an opinion about what they've told us. So I didn't decide to make a conversation and argument about Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. They drafted him.
Maybe you view your job to argue and debate what they tell us.
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago from people that had covered the league for 30 years prior to me getting there, and they told me, and I've said on this show, never believe what they tell you. Never. And you know what? For the most part, it's been true. They tell you whatever they want to tell you, whatever tale they want to spin, they spin it.
So why
they don't care if it's truthful or not.
Why would you sit here and why would I believe wholeheartedly when they tell me
you shouldn't believe?
Hold on. They say Shedeur Sanders is not ready to play.
Yeah,
should I believe that?
Here's the thing. I'm going to answer that real quickly. Thank you. G, now open your ears for a second and hear this. The Browns have not told us that.
They've told...
No, they have not told us that. We're here, and by the way...
Ross just told me he heard that.
You know who he's hearing it from?
Who?
Players. Same person Jason's hearing it from. Person most of the sources that I trust.
So coaches don't talk to unannounced sources. Coaches don't talk to sources?
The coaches...
General managers do that?
Listen, you said they. When you say they, I'm assuming you mean management. Browns, coaches, GMs.
Coaches and GMs talk to reporters off the record all the time, Jay.
Those people are not the ones putting this word out. At least from the people that I've heard it from. Because I've asked, and they're not going to tell me players' names, and quite frankly, I don't even ask players'
So
names.
you saying, Jay,
I don't want to know them.
Are you saying that general managers and coaches do not talk to reporters off the record?
Of course they do, and I don't know if they are or aren't in this case. Here's what I do know. Players are.
The Browns haven't said it publicly.
They have not said it publicly.
Yeah. It's the difference between public and private. I get it.
Moving forward, what I would do if I were you is when you hear the Browns tell you something, it's going to be a competition. You know what they also told us? They told us that Deshaun Watson gives us the best chance to win. When they tell you things, and especially an organization that doesn't say much, their lips move and they don't say much. Now we've got the general manager taking cover. He's not even going to move his lips. So he's not even going to face the music, which I think is completely cowardice.
Part of the job.
It is part of the job, but again, especially when it comes to the draft, but I'm going to throw a blanket over all of it. NFL coaches, general managers, they are great at deception. They don't tell you what the story is, what the truth is. They don't. Now, they may whisper it to reporters off the record, and that gets out. But in this case, the reporters that I've personally talked to, that I've asked pretty pointed questions, but not who, just from where is this coming? Players on the team. Okay, I'm asking people that I trust, and they're getting this from sources on the team they trust. The team has not told us anything.
On the record.
On the record. They have not stood in front of a microphone and said, Shedeur Sanders isn't ready. They have not done that. And by the way, I don't think they will. I think Kevin might skirt around it if this issue becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. He might ultimately throw that card on the table and say, look, guys, we see him every day in practice. We know what it looks like when someone's ready to put into an NFL game. He's just not there yet. He may get to that point, but he hasn't yet.
My question is, listen, if he would say that, I would have no problem with it.
I wouldn't either.
You can, if he,
but he won't do it.
But I'm just saying, like,
he won't do it.
Guys, listen, I know everybody wants to see Shedeur. We're working with him. He's getting better every single week. And trust me, he's putting in the work, the time, energy, and effort. But right now, we feel like we got Dylan Gabriel, and Dylan Gabriel is a little more prepared to play.
And that would be perfectly fine to say, but he won't do that.
The people that are angry about Shedeur not playing, even if Stefanski said that, would say he's wrong. Which
of course they
may
would.
be.
You know. Well, to G's point, and I agree with G on this.
Stand on business. Like, so they're mad.
You told me that Deshaun Watson gave us the best chance to win.
Didn't he say that?
When that was a bald-faced lie.
Yeah.
And we all saw it. We all knew it. He didn't give anybody the best chance. Not only was it a lie, Kevin didn't believe it. And he still was able to go in front of the media week after week and say, he gives us the best chance to win.
It's
and
crazy.
There was one point when he said, I got to look at the tape. This was immediately after a loss. I got to go back and look at the tape. He didn't even say that Sunday about Dylan Gabriel.
No, he did not.
So that is why.
And that was a little alarming to me. I thought for sure he could just kick it down the road and say,
McNuggets,
going into a bye week.
I'll give it to you. That's why it gives me pause when he says something and I say, I don't know. You can't get mad if people don't believe it. There's a track record.
We did the whole
believe
segment
nothing,
yesterday on
folks.
Do you believe
Believe none of it.
Stefanski's saying?
Yeah.
We got 5
None
minutes
of
to
it.
talk Cavs before we get to Super Chats. Before we talk Cavs, a quick word from our dear friend Cody with Peloton.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So, let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
Thanks, Cody. All right, guys, the Cavs play the Celtics tonight. The Celtics are not good so far this season. The Cavs 3-1 on the year. We got 4 minutes because I want to make sure we give Super Chats their appropriate 15 minutes, guys. But thoughts on tonight's matchup against the Boston Celtics?
We should win. I mean, it's a game that we should win. Celtics are not the Celtics of last year, that's for sure.
What's their record right now, Mike?
I think they're 1-3.
They were 0-3. Did they win last night?
I mean, they still got Jaylen Brown.
I think they're 1-3.
He's really good.
Jaylen Brown's been all right. They cannot rebound.
No.
At all to save their lives. It's a chance for Mobley and Allen to dominate the glass.
It's a game
the Celtics did win last night. They are 1-3 on the year. No Sam Merrill, which is going to make tonight's offense. The only thing I have a little bit of a hesitation at tonight, a little fear. No Merrill, no DG, no Strus. You do have Hunter back.
What's the spread tonight?
Not a lot of spacing.
Well, Hunter played last game.
What do you say?
You said Hunter's back. He played last game.
Well, I'm just saying you're missing 3 of your top 4 shooters. You got Merrill, you got Hunter back. So you're missing another elite floor spacer for them.
3.5
The Cavs
spread.
are 3.5-point favorites in Boston.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is one of them games where I want to see Evan Mobley. You was right, McNuggets. Evan Mobley is shooting a lot of mid-range jumpers. I would like to see him more aggressive around the rim.
Yeah, he hasn't been aggressive enough.
And around the rim, and it's in punishing guys. Like, sometimes when you get the ball, you can tend to settle a little bit. And it's easy when you start shooting jumpers to take the easy way out. So I want to see him have a better mix of jumpers as being aggressive at the rim. And this is one of those nights where they don't have those guys. And this is a perfect opportunity for him to have more spacing and more opportunities to put some shots up to figure out where he gets his flow in the offense. So this is supposed to be an Evan Mobley game.
It should be an Evan Mobley game. Were you referring to the video I put out this morning on
Yep.
Yeah, take a look at that if anyone hasn't seen it yet. We went through some
I didn't see it. What did you do?
He's just taking a bunch of mid-range shots as opposed to getting to the rim this year, which is fine.
Yeah, and
It's fine early, but there's a big difference in his efficiency when he's essentially decisive versus indecisive.
I know you say it's fine early, but I think this was the unveiling. The first 5 or 6 games we want to see. We all said, well, look, if they want to win a championship this year, Evan Mobley at some point has to become their best player. I kind of agree with that. I still think there is a path for them to be a champion with Donovan as their MVP. My thing that I can't get to is I can't get to the point that Mobley has it in him to be aggressive enough to be their best player. He makes me so frustrated when I watch him. I'm screaming at the screen for him to get in there, mix it up, be a bigger part, assert your will on the other team. And I'm beginning to wonder if he's not that guy, he's not that guy. We said Jared Allen, 9 years in the league, he is who he is. At some point, we're getting to the point with Mobley where I know he made a nice jump year to year last year, but I wanted to see the same jump this year. I think that could make him the best player.
He's been more aggressive.
But so far,
efficiency's been down.
His efficiency's down, but to me, his aggressiveness is just not where it needs to be for him to get there. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll flip the switch tonight. We'll start to see it. But so far, I'm disappointed that in the first 4, we haven't seen it.
He's had 2 games where he was really aggressive, 2 games where he was a little more passive. We'd like to see more of it, but I think with Mobley, it comes down to know where you want to get to your spots, be decisive. When he starts having to think on the fly, it is nowhere near as effective or efficient as it is when he gets to his spot. And there's no better example than that first play against New York where they gave him half the court to operate.
Yes.
The very first play of the game, he got to his spot, elevated over Cat, made the jump shot. There's a little 5-minute video on Twitter if you guys want to go check it out.
I will check it out.
You can go check it out. All right, guys, we're going to
Wait a second. Let me make a comment here if we're going to just move on.
Okay.
Because we're dealing with a situation here. See, I've often been called a snob when it comes to baseball and pizza.
Right.
And that's true. I agree. I am a snob when it comes to those things. Mike and Jason, they are the snobs of the NBA in Cleveland. They're big-time snobs. And what's happening here, Mike's making a face as if I'm being ultra serious right now. What's happening here is that Mike is getting depressed, and here's why. Because for years I've been saying Evan Mobley's a good player, very good player, but he's not special. He's not going to be an all-star, a superstar, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just a casual when it comes to basketball. And Mike and Jason are the experts. Like, they know it all. Right? I mean, you should see what's going on in this chat group I have with Mike and Jason, the things they're saying about everybody. It's crazy. it's crazy. We're mostly just other media members not here. But anyway, and Mike and Jason are starting to come to the realization 5 games in that maybe secretly I know more about basketball than they do, and they're having a hard time dealing with it right now.
It might be.
It'd be crazy if they'd already played 5 games, so it's impossible to be 5 games in when they've only
4
played
games.
balls.
Sorry.
If you're
right.
You're going to take a stab, you got to get the facts
You're right. The
unfortunately.
facts were incorrect. I am a stickler myself, so
facts
I'll
do matter.
appreciate that. But it's
We'll
tough.
see tonight.
He's struggling.
Yeah, he's got to be more efficient. Can't shoot 43% from the floor. That is not going to cut it.
Why are the Cavs not favored by 6.5 tonight?
If they had Kevin Durant, they would
It makes me nervous, guys.
Mike said he was going to be Kevin Durant
Carmelo
at some
Anthony
point.
made an interesting statement on the pregame show the other night, which, do you guys like him, by the way?
Yeah.
I thought the broadcasts on both NBC and Amazon have been pretty good.
Totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
But I thought Carmelo Anthony made a really interesting point where he said what you guys have been saying about, if they're going to win a title this year, and I'm not picking them to win the title, but if they're going to win the title this year, Evan Mobley has to be their best guy. And that's what you've been saying.
Yeah.
That's what Jason's been saying forever. And somehow when it came out of Carmelo Anthony's mouth, it just hit me a lot different.
And if there's anybody that knows about a big guy not being there in the big moments in the NBA, it's Carmelo
Anthony.
Dang, bro.
And with that, let's get to Super Chats. We got a ton, so we'll get as many as we can in.
Damn, bro.
Slick as Butter says, to answer the poll question, talent or coaching, I believe you can make the case that it's crashing and coaching and lack of talent on the offense. Am I wrong? James May says 80% Stefanski. Heidelberg Dog says it's both. Coaches haven't developed anyone, and AB hasn't provided quality players through
unacceptable
the years.
answer.
He would have been
We know it's
fired
both.
with
Of course
other
it's both.
organizations. The Akron Hot Saucer says this isn't Field of Dreams. Just because they build it doesn't mean we will come, nor does it mean competent football will come.
Ain't that the truth?
Miss Bell 70 says picking a quarterback in 2026 based off talent, not knowing if it will translate to the NFL, but certain Shador Sanders top tier talents won't transfer. Explain that.
She's dying on that vine, bro. She is just dying on that vine, man.
Evan419 says, we all ding Kevin for winning our playoff game with him sitting in the basement, but you're telling me he's more of a problem than our talent, LOL.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild work.
Lindsay O'Wade
Everybody's
says,
wild work
once
now.
Stefanski and receivers coach said they're happy with the receivers, everyone can lose me with blaming the draft talent.
They love them. They love their room.
Austin Wick says, let Shador start. Look at the number one pick. When he's under pressure, he drifts in the pocket. Most mobile quarterbacks with a bad protection in the middle O-line drift in the pocket. You go let Dylan be trash. You let Dylan go be trash. Let Shador do it too.
Shador's not really a mobile quarterback, is he?
He's not. He did show.
Not much more than Dylan.
He
he's
did
not.
show in a few plays in the preseason. He showed an elusiveness that I didn't know he had, but he's not going to break any speed barriers.
You think of a mobile quarterback, you think the guy's not going to run. He's not
he's not going to be. Don't mistake him for that.
No, he's not
but what he did well on a couple different times where his pocket collapsed. Now, he also, in the next preseason game, spun the wrong way a couple times, ran the wrong way, and got caught. This isn't college. You're not going to run away from these guys. And he'll learn that. But he's not a fast guy.
He has functional pocket mobility.
That's a good way
I mean,
of putting
almost every quarterback in the NFL these days does.
Minus Flacco, minus, the older guys.
Jared Goff
next
that
one.
much.
Right, at all. Yeah.
Next one, Terrell Collins says, come on, Bull, you never watched a game and just been impressed with how some coaches scheme up easy touchdowns regardless of the talent on the field?
Give me an example. I mean, I brought up the Jets last week. Now the Jets, their whole coaching staff been getting killed. They did a good job last week, whatever. Like, and as a fan, half the time, like, you don't know if it's scheme or if it's guys saying, "Hey, I'm just going," or the play breaks down and guys just kind of do their own thing.
You can tell. You can tell.
On every play, you can tell.
You can tell it's a scramble play.
Yeah, usually if it's an ad lib and it's past 3 seconds or 4 seconds.
You don't know if a guy ran the wrong route. Like,
no, you don't know. We don't know. So here's what we don't know what the play call was and what it was diagrammed to be. You can look at a certain route or protection and you can kind of judge a little bit.
We judge coach. Here's the thing. We don't know on the outside. Even guys like Dustin and Tyvis and G who played football at a high level, you really don't know how good a coach is unless you're in there with him, right? I mean, come on. You don't know. There's so many things that you don't know. You don't have information. Yeah. We can only make our judgments based on the information we have.
You're right.
We don't have enough information.
No, we can make judgments.
We judge coaches based on wins and losses.
The players' judgments are better informed.
Yes.
Because they're in the meetings. They see everything. All we see is the product for 3 hours on Sunday. But I've seen 4 or 5 times this year where the Browns have 3 targets in a 5-yard space.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I didn't play football in college.
You can see that. Anyway.
But I know that's not a good concept.
Yeah.
Terrible. What I'm saying is we mostly judge coaches based on wins and losses. And I just think it's crazy. Again, I'm done with Stefanski. Done. But to me, the idea that he's a bigger problem than the talent, he's easier to change than the talent.
Yeah,
but the idea that he is bigger, I don't think I think there's almost no examples in sports of where the coach is a bigger problem than the talent, in my opinion.
You grossly underestimate the impact of coaching. You feel like coaches are a dime a dozen.
I do not feel like they're a dime a dozen.
You feel like you said a lot. That
I think some of them are. Yes.
You said most coaches are within a range, and there's some really good ones, and then there's some really bad ones.
Yes.
So to me, like, I don't agree with that philosophy. There are times where you play for coaches that are completely incompetent. Completely just we use it all the time with Matt Canada.
Yeah.
I don't think Kevin Stefanski's completely incompetent. I don't think he's good, but I don't think he's completely.
I don't
think he's Freddie Kitchens.
That's fine. I'm just saying, but there are completely incompetent coaches.
Agreed.
If you look at what's going on in New York, with the exception of their win Sunday, which had why it was so devastating for Bengals fans, you were looking at a situation where every media member that I know in New York was calling for Glenn's job. Mm-hmm. Year 1, 8 games in.
Which is crazy.
Everybody wanted him out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I don't know if it was the team rallying around their coach. I don't know if it was Justin Fields saying, you know what, I'll show you I can complete it. I don't know. But whatever they did worked.
Mayo got fired in the year in New England.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that was a
Yes, he did.
Brian,
it's happened. Well, look in Tennessee.
It was a year and change.
A year and 3 or 4 games. He's out.
All right, next one. Brody's bottom line says a good coach will make bad players average. James Mace says, I've said this before, the Cleveland Browns are pretty much the Louisiana State Mud Dogs, and Myles Garrett is Bobby Boucher. Neil Gray says, if we had great quarterbacks and receivers, defensive players, and we are still average, then it's a coaching problem. He hasn't developed or motivated any players. Dragon the Abandoner says Andy Reid is in his 60s and has mostly always had good offensive talent and Pro Bowl quarterbacks, but in Philly, he was notoriously bad at clock management and refused to run the ball. He improved over time. James May says it's kind of disrespectful to compare Andy Reid to Kevin Stefanski.
Slightly.
Hard Pressure says, would you guys consider trading Judy for Adonai Mitchell and a late-round pick in Indy? They get a veteran receiver.
Yes.
We acquire a bigger, younger, faster outside receiver.
I'd trade him to anybody for anything.
Why would you do that if you're the Colts? I mean, they're playing well.
The Colts
Why
would never do that.
Why would you mess with Jerry Jeudy?
They would never
right
do that.
Yeah.
Topo42 said, if you had horrible talent on offense, it's absolutely absurd to think creativeness from the coach is the answer. Talent, let's be creative in the NFL.
By the way, shout out to the owner of the Colts. I can't think of her name. But everybody was killing her.
She was showing up,
week
taking
1
taking notes.
when she was on the headsets.
Yeah, I know.
She's handled it the right way.
And she has just talked yesterday, unlike the owner of this team.
Great.
Right? Wasn't she amazing?
Dude,
She's like, I get on the headsets because I want to learn like how hard a job. I don't remember every last thing she said.
She said coaches get fired in this league because like owners don't understand the nuance.
Right. And she wanted to learn the nuance.
Yeah, good for her. Hey,
she doesn't get involved. She's not talking on the headset.
They've got the best record in the NFL.
They do.
Yeah, and by the way, do you see the players how they respond to her, like on the sidelines? Like
I didn't. How are they?
I mean,
they like her.
Yeah, they're like talking to her. They're like high-fiving her, and like she's
Okay.
like brought an energy
That's
to that.
telling.
It's not like she's getting on the headset saying things.
She's not micromanaging.
She's just listening and wanting to learn. I think that's great.
She asks questions.
Yeah.
You know what? I did hear some unfair criticism. I heard some people saying, "Oh, you're only doing that to her because she's a woman."
Well, most people do. Yeah.
If I see Jimmy Haslam on the sidelines with headsets, I'm quitting the team. I won't watch them ever again.
You wouldn't have if it was Jimmy's first year.
But
I just don't want my owner on the headsets. Now, to your point, it's worked out fine, and I like her reasoning. She was transparent. She said, I don't know what's going on. I want to learn.
Yeah.
I love that. If Jimmy put the headsets on, do you think it would be for a learning exercise?
No. And that would be why we get mad.
That would be why I'd get mad. It had nothing to do with female or male. I actually, after you tell me the reason, good for her.
Yeah,
she's taking notes.
Good for her.
I'm confused why we still don't understand why rich people are involved in every parts of their business.
Yeah, so that's an interesting concept. Most people that are rich made their fortune.
Is it like 50-50?
I don't know because right now I read something a year ago that said because of Silicon Valley and because the number of millionaires has tripled, you need to open your mind to that concept.
Yeah.
Now, there's also generational money. There's a lot of that too. But the point of the article that I read was we have more self-made millionaires today than ever before.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. And there's a higher percentage of the millionaires today that are self-made than ever before.
A couple more super chats I want to get in here.
So if that's the truth, then those people earn the benefit of the doubt. They made it. If it's handed to you, and you're on third base and you think you hit the triple?
Carly Ursay.
A couple more
Carly Ursay. Thank you.
super chats here. 49er
Good job.
Pimpin62 says, when you run your star rookie running back only 12 times one week and then give your top receiver only 2 targets the next, you're trying to lose. It's clearly a coaching problem over the players. Christopher Waite says, it's wild how every reporter in town just gives this regime a pass for Baker. Brandon Peter says, PSLs are the death of the working class sports fan that turns football into a gentleman's game that you're not invited to. No matter the Bills or the Browns, it's a microcosm of wealth inequality in the U.S.
Talk race.
Talk.
100%.
It is a disgrace.
A lot of people were very mad at Ross Tucker. Beautifully
not
Blessed
surprised.
says, being afraid to change will lead to continued failure.
Yeah, when he was
That's
saying what he was
indefinite.
saying, I'm like, oh, they're going to have Ross's skin.
DB Dog says people are so adamant Shador's not ready, yet those same people say he's more talented than DG. Dustin, you guys know sometimes it's more than just X's and O's.
Jimmy's and Joe's, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
And Deshaun Ban Yadawa says the problem is we don't know how bad Shador is or how good he is because we haven't seen him play yet.
We need to find
Deion
out.
Flores says stop with the reps. Did Purdy get reps? Milton, Wilson, Ewers, Milroe, Pickett in Vegas, Jones before Purdy got hurt.
That's true. Purdy got nothing, man.
Yeah.
Purdy. They told Purdy, you were Mr. Irrelevant. They said, you are now the starting quarterback.
There's a lot of people mad at Ross. I see all your super chats.
Yeah, when he was saying what he was saying about Shador, I thought that's a good. I hope he doesn't come to Cleveland anytime soon.
Ross, okay.
See you in overtime.
I don't think he's paying attention to this.
No, I know.